also welcoming other commissioners from Eacc and also faculty from Mount Kenya University. Thank you very much. We may have our seats. I also take this time to appreciate our guests one more time. Welcome to Mount Kenya University, Moi Kibaki Conference Center. And Chief Guest, sir, before you came in, we had not started officially, but we were just about to start. I was asking students or the audience if they have never participated in any corruption affairs. And one of the students, most of the students said they do not understand what integrity is all about. So in their expectation, they also want to understand what integrity is all about, because the ratio and the percentage is below average. Most of them have participated in corruption matters. The percentage today is 45%. And most of them have integrity issues, and the percentage is at 30%. So ladies and gentlemen, allow me invite in stage the University Chaplain, Dr. Regina Kinethia, to give us the opening prayers. Ningeomba sisi wote tusimame tafadhali. Karibu Daktari for the opening prayers. As Daktari comes on stage, allow me also invite the choir to set. The University Choir to also come.
Let us pray. Dear Heavenly Father, in Jesus' name, you are the God of perfect truth and righteousness. We come before you with gratitude for the gift of this day, for life and for one another. We thank you for our partnership with MKU, Eacc, and Cliff. As we join together in our campaign against corruption and in promotion of ethics and integrity, we pray for your sweet presence to be with us. We pray for your grace to walk in integrity. Please help our words to be true, our actions pure, and our hearts sincere, so that they may honor you and reflect your truth. Spirit of truth, bless our country, Kenya. May justice be our shield and defender. May we dwell in unity, peace, and liberty, and may plenty be found within our borders. For we pray this in Jesus' name.
Thank you. Let's appreciate Dr. Regina. Allow me to invite the Mount Kenya University Choir, who will perform the following anthems: the National Anthem, the East African Anthem, the Eacc and Integrity Anthem, and then the Mount Kenya University Anthem. In the meantime, as the Mount Kenya University Choir sits, in front of you is the humanoid robot from the School of Computing, and he will entertain you. He will entertain you. When he comes around you, he won't knock you down. Just say hi, and he says, say no to corruption. He is dressed in a reflector, say no to corruption. And I think Daktari, at his own pleasure, he may exit the arena to go and relax, waiting for the next duty. So, ladies and gentlemen, in front of you is the Mount Kenya University Choir, ready to perform the anthems.
infinite possibilities. Unlocking infinite possibilities. United we strive to serve the great humanity with passion and hope, excellence and integrity. We trust our God for wisdom and prosperity, achieving our goals in science and technology. University, University, unlocking infinite possibilities, unlocking infinite possibilities.
Now the integrity anthem.
Kenya yangu naipenda, nachukia ufisadi, waharibu nchi yetu, tuangamize ufisadi. Kenya yangu, ngao yangu, na upinga ufisadi, tuangamize ufisadi. Ndugu yangu mwananchi, tudumishe maadili, tufanyapo kazi zetu, tuangamize ufisadi. Tuna nia na sababu na uwezo nazo mbinu, tuungane sisi sote, tuangamize ufisadi. Kenya yangu naipenda, nachukia ufisadi, waharibu nchi yetu, tuangamize ufisadi.
Thank you. Let's appreciate them as we take to our seats. Asanteni sana. In the meantime, allow me to invite on stage. Let's have our seats. Allow me to invite on stage Joy from Eacc to take us through introductions and recognitions. Let's appreciate Joy from Eacc.
The Eacc chairperson, commissioners of Eacc, Professor Wanderi representing the Vice Chancellor, all students and colleagues, good afternoon. Good afternoon. Let's appreciate the choir better. Thank you very much. This session, we have our Director, Preventive Services, Mr. Vincent Okongo. He'll take up the introductions and recognitions on our end. So I humbly invite Director. Karibu, Director.
Thank you, Joyce. The Mount Kenya University family, good afternoon. It is an honor and pleasure to be here, to be part of this campus engagement through the theme, Rebuilding Trust Through Ethical Leadership. My responsibility this afternoon is to lay the protocols on the table and also facilitate the recognition and introduction of the Eacc team here led by Dr. Bishop Oginde, who is also the chairperson of EACC. So I wish to start by recognizing and welcoming Dr. David Oginde, PhD, EBS, chairperson of EACC. I also wish to recognize the Vice Chancellor, here represented by Professor Wanderi. We have with us here Dr. Monica Moiru. Kindly stand and wave to the public. Dr. Monica Moiru is the Vice Chairperson of EACC. We have with us Colonel Retired Alfred Mushimba, who is also a commissioner of the EACC and the chair of the Prevention Committee. We have with us here Dr. Cecilia Mutuku, the commissioner of the Commission of EACC. We have with us a number of staff members, Dr. Susan Kinyeki from the Investigation Directorate. We have with us Joyce Muneme, who is the head of Kenya Leadership and Integrity Forum. We have with us Augustine Mwaniki, Assistant Director Investigations. We have with us here Stella Mbele, Assistant Director Ethics and Leadership. We have with us here Victoria Giduka, who is a Program Officer in the Kenya Leadership and Integrity Forum. And the other officers kindly stand up and just wave to the public, to the members that are present here. We also expect the Principal Secretary, the State Department for Youth Affairs and Creative Economy, Mr. Firikini Kahindi, if he joins us, we'll recognize his presence. We have with us here today CLIF stakeholders present. I wish to recognize and welcome the representative of the State Department of Justice, Human Rights and Constitutional Affairs. If you are here, kindly stand and wave to the public. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. We have with us here representatives of the National Youth Council. Representative of the National Youth Council, if you are here, kindly, I think they are on their way, coming. And of course, the MKU students and participants, good afternoon. I think the side of the university will carry out the introduction. So I want to invite back on stage the Master of Ceremony. Thank you and God bless.
Thank you very much. Let's appreciate you. I also take this chance to recognize the presence of institutions that have joined us. We have members of faculty and students from Thika Technical, just wave. Let's appreciate. We have faculty and representative from JFC Munene, just wave. And if there is any other institution, just wave. Any other institution that has joined us. Allow me to invite the Dean of Students who will come. Okay, he has assigned to Professor Mtundu, Dean of Social Sciences. Prof, you will do the introduction, and then on behalf of me, let me give you the powers to invite Professor Wanderi, representing the Vice Chancellor, to make his remarks. Karibu.
Thank you very much, Keegan. The official Mount Kenya University Master of Ceremony, we appreciate your good job and recognize with humility and appreciation the chairman of EACC and all staff and all guests who have joined us. As done by EACC, allow me to recognize the Mount Kenya University fraternity that is here with us today. I'll start with the Principal Corporate Affairs representing the Vice Chancellor, Professor Deogratius Jaganyi, and all staff from the Principal's Office. I recognize Madam Eunice or wherever you are, from the principal's office, just wave and say hello. I will next recognize the Dean of Students, Dr. Emmanuel Owor. Please just wave and say hello to us. All issues students' welfare are taken care of by Dr. Emmanuel, and we thank you very much. And Dr. Emmanuel is supported by the Deputy Dean of Students. I recognize Madam Purity Wairimu, who is here with us. Madam Purity, the kids need to know that Mom is here, so she's waved at us. Thank you very much. I will recognize the directors who are here and principals. I saw the Director, Alumni Affairs, Madam, yes, I saw the Director, Madam Kiunga is here with us. Director Alumni is here with us. I also saw in our midst Director, the Center for Professional Development, Dr. Jacqueline, oh, she's there. Dr. Jacqueline, she's here with us. Thank you very much, Director, for joining us. Allow me to also recognize the chaplain, University chaplain, Dr. Reverend Kinudia. She's here with us. She prayed for us. And Dr. Kinudia, please stay upstanding so that we can recognize you for your second role. Dr. Kinudia, Regina, Reverend, is also the patron of the Mount Kenya University Ethics and Integrity Club. Let's give her a round of applause. Thank you very much, Chaplain. And all of staff from the Dean's office who are here with us. And of course, allow me to recognize the chairperson and officials of the Mount Kenya University Integrity Club. Wherever you are, please just wave so that the Eacc chairman can recognize you. The chairperson, where are you? There will be a time we'll be calling you on stage to officiate the launch of the club. We thank you very much for all the work that you have done. And the coordinator of students' clubs, Dan, Pastor Dan, is somewhere here with us. Then all members of the Integrity Club who are here, we are going to launch that club. Please be around so that we are part of you. And then all our dear students who are here, and staff, of course, who are here, we recognize you, and all our other guests, thank you very much. So allow me to just make one remark and invite the principal who is representing the Vice Chancellor, Bishop Dr. Ogindo, the School of Social Sciences, and I stand here as Dean School of Social Sciences, pioneered the academic programs on ethics. One of our popular programs is Master of Arts in Ethics and Governance. And I thought I saw one of your students here at some point. So issues of governance and ethics are dear to us in terms of academics. We are also about to launch a program in leadership and governance that we are also very proud of. And going forward, we are going to launch our Integrity Club. We are going to be part of the efforts that the Eacc is making, and in terms not only of training, but also in mentoring our students to respect and observe matters ethics. I know that the Vice Chancellor, represented by Professor Wanderi, will also make some remarks on the various milestones and various initiatives that the university is making towards that. But just in case it misses out on his presentation, we also have the Center for Professional Development that is also initiating programs, short courses in ethics and matters governance. And of course now the club that represents our students. But I know the Vice Chancellor, represented by Professor Wanderi, will be making those remarks. And for the students who are here, we are very proud of you, and we know that this is the beginning. And on that note, with all honor and privilege, allow me to invite the Principal Corporate Affairs, Professor Wanderi, representing the Vice Chancellor, Mount Kenya University.
To all our guests, acknowledging the presence of the Chairperson of Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission, Dr. David Oginde, and also acknowledging the presence of Vice Person of the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission, Dr. Monica Muiru, members of Eacc who are here, the university faculty members, CLIF stakeholders, allow me not to go through the list, directors and staff of Eacc, all MKU students, our distinguished guests who have been recognized here, and noting also we have a representative from our neighboring institution, Thika High School, Reverend Stephen Kafufa. Ladies and gentlemen, all protocols observed, good afternoon. Good afternoon once again. To our students, I recognize you. Good afternoon. I repeat, to our students and the guest students, because they are the guest students, I recognize you all. Good afternoon. Yes, we are here because of you. You may think you are few, but because we are live and streaming live and at all different parts of this campus and in the country, we are happy that the message is getting out there very clearly. Before I read these comments from the Vice Chancellor, allow me, especially our guests, that I introduce myself and pass the message from Vice Chancellor. First of all, he is in a meeting, and I'm sure the guests who are here, and especially those who sit in board meetings, you know what it means having a timeline from your boss, and you have to meet it. He has to meet some timelines from the council and from the board, and this was a scheduled meeting which normally goes on the whole day. A few times in the past, he has successfully tried to finish it early as a chair, but occasionally, depending on the issues at hand, it may go up to 5 and beyond. So I sit in that board, and the agreement was, in case things get to where they are today, I was to step out, and this is what I did, and stand in for him. I certainly will not be able to fit into his shoe, I confess, but I will try. Let me introduce myself. I'm Professor Peter Wanderi. I serve as a principal in charge of corporate services, working under the Vice Chancellor's office, and also serving as a director in charge of partnerships and linkages of all categories: international, national, local, institutional, industry, and all that. And above it all, I want to say I also head a very important section of the university where United Nations has given us an opportunity to serve as a sustainable development goal hub chair. You're seeing a poster somewhere here, there, where we champion sustainable development goals. And our business is to make sure we do as per the expectations of the sustainable development goals, but also we are reminded that sustainable development goals go hand in hand with our Kenya Vision 2030. Recently, I've been asking many people about Kenya Vision 2030, and they have not been very sure what it is. And I keep on reminding them, it's the blueprint for development in this country, launched in 2008 by Mwai Kibaki, and I tell you for sure, that is what brings you here. That is what brings us here. The constitution that was guided by the Vision 2030, Kenya Vision 2030, is what led to so many changes in the country, and that is what mans the country, the institutions, it generates all the activities, and that is why we are here. So we decided as a university, we'll put it on our banners, so you see Kenya Vision 2030, and we request that we talk about it. We have a few years, a few months maybe, because other countries in Africa, they all have a vision statement, and those ones that were marking up to 2030, and they could not reach where they want, they have extended to 2050. And I believe, even us, we shall extend to 2050 soon enough. But it's good to read about Kenya Vision 2030 when you are free. These are the milestones that the country needs to achieve as per the vision statement. And it is on that basis that we have the Sustainable Development Goals. And MKU, as I said, is recognized by United Nations. We are given a chance to be a hub chair at so many universities where we talk about sustainable development goals and national blueprint of development, and us also talking of how to go about achieving those blueprints. And therefore, I stand here on behalf of the Vice Chancellor. You allow me to read his remarks. I take this opportunity. He recognizes actually the salutation I did. The recognition is on his document, and therefore I will not repeat. So I will read it as it is. I take this opportunity to welcome you to Mount Kenya University. Allow me also to pass greetings to you from the MKU fraternity. And he indicates that he would want to talk of MKU briefly. That MKU is an inclusive and comprehensive university, and it offers a wide range of programs that are comprehensive and aimed at enhancing professional development and global citizenship. Meant to enhance professional development and global citizenship. The university has competitively been awarded the opportunity to serve as the United Nations Academic Impact Hub Chair for Sustainable Development Goals, specifically goal number 9 on industry, innovation, and infrastructure for a period of 5 years between 2025 and 2030. The university is a champion of all SDGs, and I mentioned that, and takes recognition of SDG number 16 and number 17. Number 16 is on peace, justice, and inclusive societies, and that is what we are championing. Also, number 17, partnerships for goals. We are happy Eacc saw the need to start partnerships with the universities, and I'm happy to note that this is not the first time you are coming to a university. You have had a history of others, and this is what the SDGs talk about. They talk of partnerships for goals. At the Kenya Vision 2030 level, when you are at MKU now, you talk of public-private partnership as a driver for the achievement of the Kenya Vision 2030. Granted the aforementioned, the Vice Chancellor says he is happy to note that today we shall be launching the student-led MKU's Ethics and Integrity Club. And the students are ready. I was with them, and they are very excited about it. Additionally, a common unit on ethics, integrity, and responsible citizenship has been developed. It was approved. Thank you. It was approved on Thursday the 4th by the Dean's Committee, and I would be happy to mention to members here that the courtesy call that was made by the high-power delegation that's here on 5th of May to the Vice Chancellor's meeting started the journey. After visiting the VC, they met with the chair of the board of directors, the founder of MKU. And all of them agreed that we need this common unit, and we need to talk of integrity all the time, and also do it. And I was very happy that even the MKU anthem talked of integrity, and this is part of it. And thank you very much for that. The expected outcomes from the ongoing Eacc CLIF MKU collaborative activities include, among others, increased awareness, commitment, and institutional collaboration on ethics and integrity initiatives, as well as student-led activities and university-led policy discussions. And we are ready as a university to do that. In conclusion, I thank the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission of Kenya, courtesy of Kenya Leadership Integrity Forum, CLIF, for bringing this event to MKU. We aspire to move this partnership to a higher level with the time and starting immediately. Through more engagement, through joint research, and more joint projects for the good of our nation, country called Kenya, and for the global community at large. He thanks you again and again for being here and for making it to this event. But he says you are still most welcome to be here at MKU. Signed, Professor Deogratius Jaganyi, Vice Chancellor, Mount Kenya University. Thank you very much. Back to MC.
Thank you. Let's appreciate Prof. one more time. So ladies and gentlemen, I think it's going nicely. And I think now the integrity level is rising from 45% to around 55. And also the corruption has increased a little bit from 35, and we are at 45 in that order. So ladies and gentlemen, they always say that the concentration span lately has reduced from 1 hour to around 10 minutes. And I know, Prof, right now we have done around 30 minutes without an interlude. Allow me to invite a passionate person who is passionate about integrity. Allow me invite Grace Murale, who will provide us a piece of public speaking. As Grace comes on stage, ladies and gentlemen, there's also a skit from the university drama team. Also be prepared. Let's appreciate Grace as she comes on stage, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome so much, Grace. And then the skit also be prepared. It will be next after this.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, our esteemed guests and my colleague students, I would like to honor all of you. Good afternoon. So I go by the name Murule Grace. I am a 2.2 student at Mount Kenya University, partaking clinical medicine and surgery. And before you today, I want to talk about corruption and integrity. Well, there's a famous upcoming Gen Z content creator who goes by the name Boys Makeki. Well, if you don't know Boys Makeki, I'll try to hint you up. Have you ever wondered what can happen if you blend a fish? And you will see all lures all over the country bursting, trying to threaten the boy, trying to say that we want to steal that blender. Have you ever wondered what can happen if you blend a chicken? And watu wa Ingo watapiga kelele sana online. Have you ever wondered what can happen if you blend sweet potatoes or Irish potatoes? And the Kikuyus will go viral all over the social media. Today, ladies and gentlemen, I want to ask you, have you ever wondered what Kenya would look like if corruption was not there? They say corruption is a big man's game, but I say corruption begins with a very, very small thing. They say corruption begins and happens in offices that we can't enter. Corruption involves big money that we can't touch. But today I say corruption begins with that single coin that comrades send each other kuokoleana. You see, I don't need to have $1 million to practice corruption. But by telling a colleague, please let me go first and I'll sort you, that's corruption. It doesn't have to be in offices I can't step in.
But paying to get something that I don't deserve, that is corruption. Our leaders fight corruption in borders and in courts, using millions and a lot of money, forgetting that we the students who can say no to corruption, we the Gen Zs who are here, are more honest and more cheaper than the millions that we spend in courts to fight corruption. Integrity. Integrity isn't loud. Integrity is that calling for you to do something right when no one is clapping for you. Integrity is when you turn down that 10-shilling coin that you need at the time that you need it most. Integrity is when you choose to look away even if the deal is too good. It is not comfortable. But comfort never built a nation. Have you ever wondered what Kenya would look like without corruption? Our facilitators who have visited our school, our vision says, unlocking infinite possibilities. Building a country where there is no corruption could be one of them on this particular day. My word, invest in these students who are cheaper than the much money we spend in courts to fight corruption. Because the future that has no corruption, the future that we need is seated here before you, has sung before you, is speaking before you, and will present a skit before you. Have you ever wondered what Kenya would look like without corruption? Thank you.
Wow, let's appreciate Grace. Thank you very much. And I invite the creative team. The creative team with a skit. Let's appreciate the creative team as they come. Indeed, we say today our theme is rebuilding trust through ethical leadership. And here we are.
After a successful university challenge show, the university approved 100,000 for the participating students.
The students have represented the university with excellence, and for that, I'm going to approve 100,000 for to reward and support the participating students.
The funds have been processed and well documented. Ministers, please ensure that this money reaches our students.
Be assured.
We won't disappoint.
Ladies and gentlemen, corruption often begins with a simple lie and the belief that no one is watching.
Comrades, yes. 40,000 was the only amount that was given to the participant. Does that sound right?
No! Exactly. The event was too successful for such a small allocation.
Comrades, instead of complaining, let us go verify the facts. Madam Financial Officer, with all due respect, how come 40,000 was the only amount that was allocated and released to the participants?
Hey, that is absurd. The money that was approved was 100,000.
Yes, 100,000. So you want to mean that 60,000 disappeared? That is a strong accusation. But the money was handed over to the student leadership responsible. This is not just abuse of power. This is theft.
Yes, this is how corruption starts. It does not start from our government, but it starts from the leaders who misuse the resources allocated to them.
Comrade,
Yes.
today it is 60,000. Tomorrow it will be our bursaries. And again it will be our students' welfare money. So, comrades, if we stay silent, we'll be partners of corruption.
Yes. We need transparency, accountability, and justice.
We want our money.
We want our money.
Hey, calm down, calm down. Huh? Wait, what's not happening?
Waladi, with all due respect, how comes 40,000 was the only amount that was allocated to the participants?
Sir, it is true that some funds were released, but you approved 100,000, yet only 40 was given.
Ministers, can you please explain yourselves?
Mr. Dean, I can explain. Explain. The devil is a liar.
The devil. Sometimes you blame the devil.
Mr. Dean, with all due respect, please.
Now, corruption is not tolerated in this university. In this institution, we follow protocol. And for that matter, you're going to face the disciplinary action.
Honesty builds truth, yet corruption destroys it.
To the dock!
To the dock!
Ladies and gentlemen, to curb such cases and others of the sort, we need to come together to seek the truth. Yes, the 60,000 was recovered, but the damage caused, it was harder to repair.
I lost my position because of being greedy.
I learned that integrity is worse than money.
Corruption begins with us and ends with us.
Ladies and gentlemen, when we tolerate corruption, everyone will face the consequences. But when we
Embrace.
Ladies and gentlemen, when we tolerate corruption, everyone will face the consequences. But when we embrace integrity, everyone will succeed.
Integrity begins with us. Corruption ends with us.
The future of our universities and nation depends not on only the leaders that we complain about, but also on us who practice integrity every day. And together we say,
Pamoja tuangamize ufisadi.
Wow, let's appreciate them, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much. Indeed, pamoja tuangamize ufisadi. What a way to now set the precedence for our keynote address under the theme Rebuilding Trust Through Ethical Leadership. Ladies and gentlemen, our keynote speaker, allow me to read the bio. You can be noting a few things in the bio. He has a PhD in leadership from Regent University, USA, a master's in leadership from Park University, BARCH Hons from University of Nairobi, certified professional mediator from Park University, and a fellow of Certified Public Secretaries, ICS. Ladies and gentlemen, Dr. David Oginde is the chairman of the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission, Eacc, the official government agency constitutionally mandated to promote values and ethics and combat corruption and economic crimes in Kenya. Dr. Oginde is a thought leader on matters leadership and governance. He is the founder of the Catalid Associates and Leadership Development Firm that runs courses, coaching, and consultancy for individuals and organizations. He owns a PhD, as I have told you before. Dr. Oginde has a passion for value-driven leadership and has led several training workshops and seminars for corporate, government, and non-profit organizations on various aspects of leadership and governance. He teaches the PhD class in organizational leadership at Park University and runs a fortnightly program, the Leadership Forum on Hope FM. He has published several books and written articles in various leadership journals. Dr. Ginde is the immediate former presiding bishop of Christ is the Answer Ministries, CITAM, where he leads several organizations, transformation initiative, placing CITAM as a cutting-edge church institution. He is the founding council chair of the Mama Ngina University College. He previously served as the council chair and the chancellor of Park University and the vice chair of the Association of Evangelicals in Africa, AEA. Dr. Ginde is married to Nancy and have 2 young children. Point to note. Dr. Ginde is married to Nancy and have 2 young adult children. Ladies and gentlemen, let's put our hands together for our keynote speaker, Dr. David Oginde, EBS Chairperson, EAC. Let's stand as we clap for guests. Karibu sana, Daktari. Thank you very much, and welcome to Mount Kenya University. We can have our seats.
Good afternoon, everyone. And thank you for that generous introduction. It's really a great honor for me to be here. I was telling the leadership before that this is my first time to come to this campus of Mount Kenya University. And it's very, very impressive, great work that has been done here for a university as young as this. Let me appreciate the Vice Chancellor in absentia for allowing us to come together for this initiative that we as Eacc have started to engage young people on matters of ethics and integrity. I also want to appreciate all fellow commissioners who are here with us today. I want to appreciate all the staff, the faculty, our students, and all the fraternity of this great university. Our theme today is rebuilding trust through ethical leadership. That's our point of reflection today, to look at this matter on trust and how it affects our relationships in various areas, particularly in the area of integrity. Why is trust so important? Trust is like the foundation of a building. Trust is not a social virtue. It is an economic and leadership asset. Trust is what makes us lend friends money and believe that they will return it. Trust is what makes us, as students, elect leaders and believe that they will deliver on our interests. Based on that significance of trust, I want to share with us briefly this afternoon on what I have called the paradox of high engagement and low trust. The paradox of high engagement and low trust. Without doubt, one of the defining paradoxes of the 21st century is that we are more connected than we have ever been. And yet, trust with each other has never been lower. People are highly engaged, constantly communicating. Possibly even as I'm talking with you here, you are on your phone, communicating with people who are not with us here. You are engaged, not listening to me, but talking to someone else. That is the reality that we face today. Yet surveys across many countries consistently show declining trust in governments, in media, in corporations, in religious institutions, and even among fellow citizens. It's a case of high social investment with a serious trust deficit. The question is, why is trust declining in our relationship when our engagement is so high? Let me give a few reasons this afternoon. The first one, I believe, is substitution of engagement for relationship. Substitution of engagement for relationship. There is no doubt that technology has dramatically increased our levels of social interaction. Unfortunately, it has reduced our human connection. We therefore communicate more frequently, more rapidly, with more people, but many times this communication is superficial, is transactional, and with very little commitment. And so we can say a lot when we mean very little. We can engage a lot when we have no interaction. The reality is that historically, trust has been built through repeated interactions among individuals, shared experiences, demonstrated character. You get to trust me because we have worked together. You have observed me in various settings, and therefore you get to that place where you believe that what I say, what I do, what I promise is what I will deliver. It is in this knowing a person deeply that has helped people in ages past to come to trust one another. Today, our engagement can occur without any of this happening among us. A person may have thousands of online followers, friends, or connections, yet very few real and trusted relationships. Some time back, I was actively engaged in social media, particularly on X, and then known as Twitter. I had thousands of followers. In fact, by the time I took a break, I had over 60,000 followers that were following me on Twitter. One birthday, I posted, today is my birthday. I received 3,000 cakes, all of them in the form of emoji. None to eat. So I pleaded with my friends and followers, please send me a hard copy of the cake so that I could enjoy my birthday. I received none. It shows us that our social connections are not real. You may have 1 million followers. It doesn't matter. When you are in a place of need, none of those people may come to your help. Whereas in the days past, when we had relationships, even if you have with 3 people, those people will be by your side at the time of need. The second thing, I think, that has reduced our levels of trust is an increased information that undermines credibility. We live in an age of information abundance. We are exposed to multiple sources of news, competing narratives, conspiracy theories, misinformation, propaganda, AI-generated content, and one is never sure which is the truth, what is reality. In fact, these days, it is very difficult to know what is real and what is not real. You receive a link to watch a video, and you are not sure whether this video is real or is not real. So we have become uncertain as to who is telling the truth, what agenda is behind the message, whether facts can be trusted. Unfortunately, when every claim is challenged by another claim, trust becomes fragile and credibility declines. So we have come to a place where people talk, if you ask a question, especially to us young people, we say it depends, because there is no absolute truth. It all depends. It all depends. There's a program I watch on France 24 where they deal with fake news and facts. And it is interesting that in the midst of all that is happening around us, people are generating information. People are generating news. And so you may be watching news, but it's actually not true. It is fake. And because of this, our levels of trust have gone down, because you are never sure who is giving us the truth or not. Number 3, proximity that has exposed human frailty. Some of us, particularly the slightly older ones, will be familiar with a song by Julie Gold titled "From a Distance." She says in her song, "From a distance, the world looks blue and green, and the snow-capped mountains white. From a distance, the ocean meets the stream, and the eagle takes to flight. From a distance, you look like my friend, even though we are at war. From a distance, I just cannot comprehend what all this fighting is for. From a distance, there is harmony, and it echoes through the land, and it's the hope of hopes, is the love of loves, is the heart of every man. God is watching us from a distance." The truth is that in previous times, generations saw each other from a distance. We saw the world from a distance. We saw leaders from a distance. Everything looked good and in harmony. I only knew of Nairobi from a distance. Nobody told me that there were slums in Nairobi. And people who left and went to Nairobi had gone to this great place that everybody wanted to go to. Until I came to Nairobi and I found that there are very poor people living in the slums of the city. From a distance, the United States of America sounds like heaven. And people have left here fighting to go to the United States. When I was a pastor, one of our members, who had a very good job, raising up a very good family, doing very well in their lives, got a green card and came to me and told me they are migrating to the United States. I asked, for what reason? You know, it is a land of opportunity, but from a distance. Today they are struggling because that land that looked green is not as green when you get in there. Today we see the world through the magnifying glass. Our human frailty is magnified. Leadership failures are immediately visible. Political scandals, corporate misconduct, religious hypocrisy, academic fraud, celebrity failures are all splashed in our sight. And so the things we used to see from a distance, now we see them very close and we see them very clearly. Unfortunately, this constant exposure to failure has created a cynicism, especially because it is often not balanced by stories of integrity and of excellence. So we hear comments like, everyone is corrupt, everyone has an agenda, nobody can be trusted. But it is not true. There are still some very good people in this good world. In fact, I have come to believe that the majority of Kenyans are very good people. It's just that the people that we hear about who are engaged in corruption and evil behavior and evil conduct seem to occupy the space that informs our mind and influences our lives. So we have come to believe that everybody is evil, everybody is corrupt. I want to disabuse us of that notion. We have some very good men and women of integrity in this land, and let them be the examples that we follow, not those ones that we see under our magnifying glasses. Number 4, laws of institutional moral capital. In days before many institutions enjoyed what might be called social legitimacy or moral capital, people trusted governments, churches, universities, professions, media organizations. Today, many institutions are experiencing legitimacy deficit. Many institutions are perceived as politicized, self-serving, inconsistent, or disconnected from ordinary people. And this has created an erosion in our trust of institutions. The consequence, therefore, is whereas our engagement with institutions may be very high, people have lost trust in their institutions. Trust has continued to decline. And so when you go to an office, when you come to a university, when you attend a class, when you engage with fellow colleagues, you are never too sure that what they are giving you is the real thing. You are never too sure that the price you are paying for a commodity is the actual price. You are never sure that the cost that you are paying for a service is the actual cost, because even on the streets, you know that that tin of potatoes that is full to overflowing is not carrying full potatoes, because at the bottom there are cartons and papers that have been put there. And no wonder when you come to buy, they put the tin right inside the gunia, right inside the bag, and turn it and then put it upside down, so that you do not see that what you have bought is half a tin, not the full tin. From a distance, it looks full, but when you scrutinize, you find it is not real. And so the consequence, we don't trust the traders. We don't trust the mama mboga anymore. We look for men and women we can trust. The 5th thing I would say why we have lost trust is identity politics that has replaced shared identity. Many communities and societies have become increasingly fragmented. People identify themselves primarily through politics, ethnic groups, ideological camps, religious beliefs, generational identities. Trust, therefore, flows naturally towards our people, my people, and away from we the people. The result is that we call in leadership, but decline in the bridging of the social capital. So we find that there's an increase in bonding social capital instead of bridging social capital, as we say in leadership. Bonding capital, social capital, has to do with staying with those people that you know, those people you share common bonds with, Bridging social capital implies that you cross boundaries so that you can interact with people from the other side. But because we do not trust one another, because trust has gone down, I would rather stay with the people that I know. In sociology, it has been proved that the farther away you move from trust, the closer you want to bond with the people that you know. Many years ago, when I lived in the United States of America for a short while, in those days there were no social media. Communication was very little. When you saw any black person, that was my brother, that was my sister. If I met an African, it doesn't matter where they came from, I felt like I had met my own brother, my own sister. If they happen to come from East Africa, Kenya, Uganda, Tanzania, we are at home. One time with my wife, we had gone to shop at a shopping center. And we went in this parking tower. And where we got a slot to park, as we were parking, the number plate, the registration plate, as you know in the US, you can choose your own number plate, what you want to write on it. And in the number plate was written MS Kenya. We decided we are not going to go anywhere until this person comes back and we find out who it is, because we felt like we were at home. For somebody to write MS Kenya in their registration plate, they must be very serious about Kenya. So we sat in our car for several, almost 45 minutes, waiting for the owner of this car, but they were not coming. So we finally decided, let's dash quickly, pick what we are going to pick, and then come back and see who this person is. Unfortunately, when we came, we found the car had gone. We felt like our brother, my mother, my sister, and everybody else that I held close had just left without us seeing them. That's how close we felt. These days, as I travel in other parts of the world, the divisions that are there among Kenyans, the fights that are there among Kenyans, it's troubling, because people no longer trust one another. They have gone back into bonding social capital rather than bridging social capital. The church is an embarrassment. I must say, though, I'm a church person, because I've gone into cities in Europe, in America, where services are conducted in the local language, Kenyan local language. So the Luos have their Luo church, the Kikuyus have their Kikuyu church, the Kalenjins have their Kalenjin church, which does not happen even here in our country when we are here. Why is this? It's because people feel that I can only trust my people. What happened to we, the people, as we seek to build our country? What relationship does this have with our subject for today? When we lose trust of one another, when we lose trust in one another, what it does is undermines our character. It undermines our relationships. It undermines everything that we do. People become selfish when there is no trust. People become callous when there is no trust. When you see our leaders speak the unspeakable, you know that there is something desperately wrong with our society. And it has to do with that level of trust. Because trust is what helps us to do good to the other person. But when we become selfish, then, like we have seen in the skit, you are given 100,000 to go and give to the participant, but you collude with the person you can trust and say, we are only to give how much? 40,000. What happens to the 60? What is interesting is that what they are keeping is more than what they are giving. So out of 100,000, they are giving how much? 40,000. And they are keeping 60,000. Trust undermines character, or low levels of trust undermines character. When performance replaces character, we find that people want to appear good when they are not good. Trust is deeply rooted in integrity, consistency, sacrifice, service, and moral character. People increasingly encounter leaders who are highly competent, but whose character is uncertain. Trust is not a question of competence. Trust is a question of character. Without character, engagement rises, but trust falls. What must we do to reverse this trend, particularly as young people? The youth of our country, who are the majority in this room and who are the majority in the country, have a significant role to play in rebuilding trust. This lies in your power to reshape and influence the ethical standards for your generation. By influencing fellow peers, refusing to tolerate evil. When somebody does evil around you, you must refuse and help them to follow the right path. Plagiarism in exams, cheating, copying, all those are signs of corruption that begin very small but grows into big things. We must shape our conversations on social media. How do we interact with each other? What kind of language are we promoting? We must make decisions that shape how communities are built. We must lead as young people by action and by example. How do we do this? Number one, let's embrace values. Our society faces challenges in corruption, radicalization, and addictions. But this can be defeated if you as young people are focused that will lead you into the path of destruction. Greatness comes to those who invest in integrity and in perseverance. Don't be deceived by those men and women who have taken shortcuts by stealing our resources and building empires out of that which has been stolen. Work slowly, but hard and with excellence, and you will build a foundation that you can leave to your children and your children's children, and you can sleep in peace without worrying whether Eacc will visit your house in the crack of dawn. Stay positive. Number two, step into leadership. Leadership is not about age, it's about conviction. If you believe in change, you must be ready to rise up and lead with courage within your local context. Let your passion for transformation inspire others to do the right thing. The great leaders that we read about and hear about today, both in history and in our time, are men and women who rose systematically and slowly through their lives to make a difference. Very, very few people who engage in corrupt practices end up as examples of men and women who create impact in society. Stand up against corruption. Corruption may promise quick rewards, but it destroys nation. It is sad, but recent surveys reveal that many young people do not see harm in dishonest shortcuts like tax evasion, corruption, fake certificates. We are seeing an upsurge in plagiarism among university students. In Eacc, we are overwhelmed by the number of fake certificates that we have to investigate. Some of people who are very highly placed. Why don't you want to go to the university and get a genuine certificate? And when you go to the university, why don't you want to work hard so that you get that genuine certificate that is a result and an expression of who you really are? No nation has ever thrived through corruption. Greatness is built on honesty, hard work, and trust. Finally, develop moral identity. Moral identity is the internalized image of character that an individual portrays through personal actions. It is the primary component of self-identity regarding your own sense of morality. When you are confronted with moral dilemma as to what to do in a given situation, your decision on what to do in that situation will be dependent on your moral identity. Who do you believe you are? And who are you? So that the decision you take in that situation reflects who you are, not what is convenient. That is what moral identity is. Trust is like a bridge between leaders and their followers. When that bridge is strong, people are willing to follow, to cooperate, and to contribute. But when the bridge develops cracks through broken promises, lack of accountability, or unethical conduct, people begin to lose confidence. Rebuilding that bridge takes time, consistency, and ethical leadership. And I want to urge you, particularly young people in the house today, take your time, follow the right path. Build your name as a man or woman who can be trusted. When you make a promise, fulfill it. When you say you are going to do something, do it, and do it well. You will be a person who will be respected, who will be honored, and you will go many places. Shortcuts have a way of cutting your life short at the wrong time. Rebuild that bridge of integrity and use time and consistency to grow into an ethical leader. So my question to you, young people of our country, we are standing at the crossroads. Will you settle for shortcuts, or will you arise and be the generation that says, enough is enough? We are not going to tolerate that which is evil, and restore trust in our society, trust in our government, trust in the various departments, trust in our families, trust in our institutions, trust in every place where we find ourselves. That responsibility is yours. I want to trust that you will not let us down. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Chief Guest Sarge, this generation, I know a lot of the front row walikuwa enzi za makofi ya Nyayo. So today this generation doesn't use makofi ya Nyayo. They say ni mbaya, and when it's mbaya, they clock it. So let's clock it for the chief guest. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. So I request all of us to just stand up. All of us just stand up on my request. Even upstairs also just stand up. I want us to do the famous, what is called the chicken dance. Okay, you know the chicken dance? Huh? Sorry? Then? But in between, I'll be giving instruction. Okay? When you take a round circle, I'll be giving instruction. So look to your neighbor. Look at your neighbor. Just look, don't greet. Don't say hi. Just look. Pinduka nyuma pia angalia jirani yako wa nyuma. Take note of the color of the cloth. Take note kama akona tai ama hana tai. Angalia kama akona miwani ama hana miwani. Akonayo? Now say hi. Say hi to your neighbor. Now say hi. Now you can ask for his or her name. Just introduce yourself. Thank you. Now all of you look at me. All of you look at me. We good? Okay. Play it. Say hi to somebody who has a tie. Somebody who is wearing a tie. Say hi to somebody. Salimia mtu amevaa tie. Salimia mtu amevaa tie. Get ready for this one. Get ready for this one. Let's increase the speed a little. Now say hi to somebody wearing specs. Somebody wearing specs. Say hi to somebody wearing specs. Now we go to this one now. Let's go, ready now, let's go. Now say hi to your opposite gender. Say hi to the opposite gender. Now, give that opposite gender a hug. Give that opposite gender a hug. Thank you. Let's have our seats. You know what that hug has done to the boy child? Do you know June is Men's Mental Health Awareness Month. And do you know what the data shows? Who knows about the data? That hug has saved a boy child. Because in 1 minute, we lose one boy child in the world. In a year, we lose 550 plus men in the world. Just high five that boy child. Tell him it's okay not to be okay. Tell him talk to us. Just remind, this one is for the ladies. Men, nataka tuambie wasichana hivi, and the ladies, we need to be appreciated. We need to be loved. We need to be hugged. We need to be sent gifts. We need to be sent gifts. We need to be taken out for dinner on ladies' bills. Thank you very much. Let's appreciate the boy child, ladies and gentlemen. So we go straight into our next session. As I told you earlier, this session is all about engaging. We've heard it from our chief guest, who has given us a very meticulous talk. And I know, tulikuwa tumefika 55 na 45. Sindio? The percentages as we started. Right now I think we are at 70 and 60. We're getting there, we're cruising nicely. Tell your neighbor we're cruising nicely. Now, we've heard it from the keynote speaker, who is our chief guest, and now it's time to hear it from the consumers. And who are our consumers? The consumers is you in the audience. Okay? The consumers is those who went and chose and want to say no to corruption. But this is the question I will ask before I introduce our panelist. Is there integrity in our relationships? Which relationship? Ya mapenzi. Demu yako na chali yako. Are you integral? Ama kuna corruption? Kuna corruption inafanyika? Ask yourself. And our panelists, I hope you will answer that question, because najua muko na mapenzi na muko na lovers. So answer that. So ladies and gentlemen, I want to introduce our panelists. The first panelist on stage is Sinorin Atieno. Sinorin Atieno, pursuing bachelor's in social work and administration, a gender equality enthusiast, peer educator, and a mental health advocate. Let's put our hands together for Sinorin Atieno. Our second panelist who will be a moderator for this session is Lynn Wanja Irungu, who pursues Bachelor's International Relations and Diplomacy. She is a youth leader and director of Diplomatic Affairs and Protocol, Kenya Model, United Nations. Let's appreciate Lynn Wanja Irungu. Yes, just have a seat. Our third panelist is Melvina Wambui, pursuing counseling psychology, the founder of Male Wellness, mental health advocate, former counseling psychology student association president. Let's put our hands together for Melvina. Our other panelist is Jacob Joseph Yakuba, a Bachelor of Science in Information Technology student, chairperson of the AYLF MKU chapter. He is a full-stack engineer, tech enthusiast, and data analyst, transforming ideas into scalable digital solution and youth-led impact. Ladies and gentlemen, let's put our hands together for Jacob Joseph Yakub. Our other panelist is Gakenia Murithi, Bachelor in Film Production, Animation, and Gaming. He's so passionate in films and movies and plays basketball. Let's appreciate Murithi as she comes on stage. Our other panelist, all the way from Southern Sudan, but of Kenyan origin, Chol Nyok. He's a Bachelor of Arts in International Relations and Diplomacy. Vice Chairperson of the School of Social Science Club Consortium, youth leader, researcher, and community mobilizer. He's passionate about ethical leadership, diplomacy, peace building, governance, and youth empowerment. He also told me that he grew up in Kakuma. Let's appreciate Chol Nyok. Let's also put our hands together for John Favor Wairugu, Bachelor of Science, Renewable Energy and Environmental Technology student, Chairperson of Mount Kenya University Environmental Club, passionate about environmental sustainability, and Director of Fix It Electrical and Electronics. Let's appreciate John. And our last panelist is Sivians Faluma Msudi, who takes diploma in counseling psychology, passionate about mental health, personal development, and community empowerment. She is dedicated to promoting psychological well-being, ethical leadership, and positive social change through counseling, advocacy, and education. Ladies and gentlemen, I hand you back to Lynn, and then after the panel session, we'll have a 10 minutes where we shall invite the EACC moderator to take us through the question and answer to the panelists. Welcome.
Thank you very much. If you're happy and you know, clap your hands. If you're happy and you know, clap your hands. If you're happy and you know, and you really want to show, if you're happy and you know, clap your hands. Thank you very much. I'm honored to be part of this beautiful panel. I would like to recognize the presence of our EACC chair, the commission, and ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. My name is Lynn Wanja, and I'll be the moderator of this students panel, and we are looking forward to a grateful and an interactive discussion. So without further ado, maybe I start by introducing my panels again. From Sinorin, maybe tell us, when you hear about corruption, what comes to your mind?
Okay, good afternoon, everyone. As I've been introduced, I'm Sinorin Atieno. I'm taking bachelor's in social work and administration. When I hear the word corruption, this word is normalized nowadays. Like when you go to each and every place, everyone is mentioning the name corruption. And corruption comes with a lot of pointing fingers at other people rather than reflecting on our abilities, reflecting on our actions. For me, the term corruption actually means taking advantage of a situation, taking advantage of a condition to gain a personal interest or a gain. You find that when we talk of corruption, people think of those people in leadership, those people who have titles. We forget about we the citizens of this country. So for me, corruption is all about taking advantage of your position. Let's say, for instance, most of us here are comrades. Hi, comrades. Hi, comrades. Let's say you find that most of us, let's say maybe I've missed class. Corruption will come out this way. I'm missing a class and I'm forcing myself maybe in a group or convincing my class rep to write for me my name, yet I know very well that I was not in that class. You understand? You find that another instance is where we take advantage of our parents. You find that maybe there's a trip that is being sponsored by school, but because we need an extra cash, you will call your mom or your dad, tell them that, we have a trip and we are supposed to pay this amount of money. So me, when I hear the term corruption, it comes with a lot of responsibility, personal responsibility, we as individuals, rather than pointing fingers. Because I'm a believer of the leaders we currently have in different institutions never came from heaven. They reflect the society that we are. Those leaders are the average of the morals, the impunity in the society. So in as much as we are trying to point fingers at our leaders, let us just reflect on our moral characters, just the way our key speakers taught us. Let us reflect on the trust we have. Let us embrace the Ubuntu spirit that we used to have back then. The services for people, those are the things that we should reflect on rather than pointing fingers at other people. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you very much, Sinorin. Just to echo on what our keynote speaker said, Trust is a repeated process that is established among individuals. So to you, Melvina, do you think corruption is more of a systemic or a moral or individual failure?
Hi. Individual. I was thinking about it, and corruption, I feel it's very, no one wants the responsibility. They always have a decoy and they run away. And I feel like corruption, if you are to look at the root, I would say it's individual. It starts with your like our amazing Eacc said, values. If I corrupt values, for example, is this okay? For example, like an evil value of, for me, my money always comes very fast. Stealing credit cards, sharing with my friends and all. So it's all about individual. If I attain to my values, it will bring out in my behavior. Very psychological. It's all in the mind. If I have values, my values really train my thoughts, how I feel about them, and behave. Integrity. I have responsibility of what I'm doing. I trust myself in doing it. It will produce results of integrity. That's what I believe from corruption.
Thank you so much, Melvina. And personally, I think it also starts with the individual, and then from the individual, it transcends into the system. Over to you, Jacob. Do you think there is corruption in our institutions? Now that this is a youth engagement forum, is there corruption in our institutions? And perhaps if there is corruption in our institutions, can you maybe tell us maybe some forms of corruption in our institutions and how our youth can be able to combat that corruption?
Thank you for the question. I'll not say that corruption is not available in our institution. I'll not say that because corruption is like everywhere. It is like something that is contagious, being carried by almost everyone that is alive today. For instance, I define this as a basic way of saying corruption is available, and how we curb it is actually what matters most. Corruption is there, that is a fact, but again, you cannot tell the measure of corruption that it is in a person's mind. It is something conceptual. Someone is associated with that. But again, take an example. This is where now I say that corruption is not in this institution in one level, whereby, take an example where during admissions, if this school was corrupt, can you imagine where a course like medicine and surgery being offered in this institution, you can imagine you coming in as a student who never qualified for this course, and then just because you've paid an amount, you get to enter into this institution. That is where I tell you that such institution, where we are, the standard of this institution, we don't have it at that level. We don't have any sort of corruption. You just get into this university because you think it is a private institution. You may come here, pay, and then get into it. That is false. You can't. Because there are bodies that are specifically designed, or rather put in place to do so. Where corruption is, I can tell you for free, take an example where students ask by ourselves. I don't know about lecturers because that is another level. But I'm talking about us as students. When you come to class late and maybe you hear that there is a class where you have to indicate your name or else you won't be included in the cut, you actually call one of your classmates to write your name, take it to the class representative, showing that you are actually in that group. You see, that is one area. But again, that area is being mitigated because we have sharp lecturers that are always following up with our students. Such students obviously end up terribly. So I can't tell you that there is corruption because we have ways of mitigating them. So yes, corruption is in everyone, that is true. It is something that you can choose to get into your system or remove it at will. No one follows you to do that. Yeah, thank you.
Okay, thank you, Jacob. Over to you, Gakenya. Stemming from the question I've asked Jacob, personally, do you think there is corruption in our institutions? And if so, is there a case of identity politics in our institutions?
Personally, I think corruption is the way you conduct yourself ethically and integrally. If you choose to go against your ethical ways, that's when you are going to divert from what you stand and what you believe in. Personally, I will say this institution doesn't have corruption because we have great people, great lecturers amongst us who are also ethical themselves. They teach us how to be ethical. And if you as a student, you see that you are not able to practice and to be ethical, you can try to find different ways of doing it. You can join clubs. The great man here said that they have also opened an unit. You can also register that unit so that you can avoid being corrupt, making you a greater person in the future.
Okay, thank you. Over to you, John. How do you think corruption can manifest itself in our education systems?
Good afternoon. Thank you. There is this saying among some comrades that bila connections huwezi survive. And that is the corruption nature amongst ourselves. Hiyo yenye unaita connection, hiyo ndio corruption. Because from our question, I believe corruption imekoiniwa into so many names. Like there are so many names that we have given to corruption. And so even when one is engaging in a corrupt activity, to them it is not corruption because there is this name that it has been baptized and it is a name that has been accepted. And so because that name itself is not the name corruption, it is accepted by all. What I would say is the main thing or the problem is the outcome of whatever you engage in. Someone may say, if I may give an example, maybe mmepewa assignment and you're supposed to present this assignment maybe in an online class. And during that time you are supposed to log into that class. There is this series that you have been watching for the past like 6 hours and you've just remembered, oh, niko na class. And at that time, you're supposed to be presenting, but because you are not ready, you look for an excuse. Unasema, network yangu inasumbua, wacha mse fulani aendelee. But it is because you are not ready. I'm trying to look at examples that the comrades can relate with. So these are all instances of corruption, and you don't have to be in that MCA seat, in that governor seat, for you to engage in corruption. It is here with us, and it is a challenge to all of us and a challenge that we need to take up. In your own level, or even in the levels that you are going to go into, let us identify corruption with the names that it has been given. With these baptisms, it has been baptized, and let us know that it is corruption, and we look at ways to deal with it.
Okay, thank you, John. Over to you, Chol. I understand that you are a student leader here at Mount Kenya University. Maybe tell us, how can youth promote ethical and integrity in leadership?
Thank you so much, Joy, Lind. Anyway, corruption is a huge ecosystem where it thrives. If good people remain silent, then corruption will automatically take the space to thrive. Under the institution of, I'm very proud before when my professor said that they interpret the system where they had another unit for ethical leadership, which will going to train people to be mature enough to fight against corruption. In our daily basic here in school, we normally see sometimes it is promoted by institution. If institution put a mechanism which will going to fight against this thing, the society will mass to thrive in a good manner. But our institution, they lack mechanism. There is no law that protect whistleblowers. Even here in Kenya, we normally see young people, if they expose people who are corrupt, cartel and opportunists, they normally victimize them. And that thing normally had it high and it promote corruption to thrive in society. Unless our institution learn how to protect these people, whistleblowers who can expose this thing, doing what is good at the right time, and then corruption will free our society. But if we continue pampering anyone who doing this corruption thing without questioning him or her, then we are going nowhere. Thank you.
Okay, over to you, Sivians. In as much as we are talking about corruption, how bad it is, and how we should shun it from our society and everything, how can we reward integrity? Because from our keynote speaker, he has mentioned that in as much as the society is painted as everyone is evil, we still have some good people, really good people out here. How can integrity be rewarded?
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. For me, integrity can be rewarded by encouraging those leaders who do good, maybe like here, I can say here in the institution, the student leaders who are performing better should be given rewards, should be acknowledged, like those certificates to carry them out there when they go for the job opportunities, they will be encouraged. Another thing, integrity can be rewarded through these, like right now, there's a lot of unrest in the society. So when we look at what is going on, maybe they should create awareness, even through counseling. When someone can go for counseling, then our behavior can be changed. Create awareness, then integrity will be rewarded. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. Over to you, Sinorin. Most of the times, as youth, we are on the digital platforms, we are on social media. How do you think social media and digital tools can be used in addressing corruption?
Thank you so much for that question. And I'll start by what our founding father, Mzee Jomo Kenyatta, told us. He used to push for, he told, one of the things that our founding father told us to fight is ujinga, meaning ignorance. So we as young people, I normally say we are a blessed generation, considering the fact that most of us, we are a generation where most of us have an access to school, most of us have access to education compared to other generations. So I believe that we as young people, we can leverage on technology and digital platforms to ensure we create awareness. I normally believe that you can never challenge what you do not know. You can never demand for something that you don't know.
Like, I can just pose a question for us here. How many of us even know the budget, our 2026 budget for this year? How many of us have even interacted with our county development plan? You find that most of these selfish politicians, for lack of a better word, normally take advantage of our ignorance. So I believe we as young people can come together, try to enlighten ourselves. Let's actually start engaging ourselves in this civic education. I know most of us find it boring, but I think that will be a very good step. Let's try to understand our constitution, because you find that most of these leaders take advantage of us because they know very well we don't know anything. So you can never question what you don't know. You can never ask for something that you don't know exists, and that's what they take advantage of us. So if we young people can come together, try to learn, starting from the constitution. And I love one of the initiatives being done by Mwangi, which is called Katibu Mashinani or Katibu Shuleni, where the initiative is all about going to schools, going to university, teaching young kids, teaching comrades on the constitution, because I'm a believer of ignorance is the main challenge that is affecting us citizens of Kenya and Africa at large. So if you can take that step and try understand the matters of governance with facts, not just emotions. The Ruto must go thing. Because at the end of the day, me, I'm a believer of the Ruto must go term, like the must go narrative has been there. It was there in Kibaki's era, it was there in Moi's era. And I normally say that anyone can say Ruto must go. Anyone can say one term, whether someone has gone to school or not. So what will make us different is when we come in, as much as we are agitated, we are demanding things with facts. We are demanding liberation with facts and points. So I'll urge us young people, let us leverage on these platforms. We have the constitution, you can access it in social media. Let us try to understand these things so that if we are going out there to challenge the system, the flawed system, we are going there with facts, with understanding, with clear understanding. Yeah, thank you so much.
Hey, thank you so much, Sinorin. To you, Melvina, do you think corruption is a permanent problem, or it's something that can be done away with permanently?
Thank you. If it's permanent, if you want it, we can. If it's permanent, we want it, we can. And it's a choice. Again, from the individual part of it, I believe corruption starts with me, integrity starts with me. And if I get to understand where am I corrupt, then we can change. Because you can't change what you don't know. The way you said about the baptism of the corruption word, people see it like a normal thing. But if you get someone with high levels of integrity, I'm imagining around us, can pinpoint what I don't know yet they see. It starts from there. And identifying these small nitty-gritties of this corruption behavior or thoughts, because it starts with thoughts, I'm like, hey, by the way, naweza ongea na huyu najua mtu atanisort. It all starts with here. So if someone of integrity can help you, hey, Mel, hapo ukufanya poa.
Melvina, just allow me to cut you short. Ladies and gentlemen, we're being joined by the Principal Secretary, State Department for Youth Affairs and Creative Economy. So I request all of us to be upstanding, and we appreciate the Principal Secretary, State Department for the Youth Affairs and Creative Economy, as he comes in, Fikirini Jacobs. Let's appreciate the Principal Secretary as he comes in, and then we shall continue with the session thereafter, after he has had his seat. So let's just... Thank you, karibu sana, sir. And we always say, once a comrade, always a comrade. And he has ensured that despite the tight schedule, he has come to ensure that to represent the Youth Affairs and the Creative Economy State Department. Karibu sana Fikirini Jacobs. He was a long-serving president during his youthful campus days. He also joined by the Mkusa Cabinet Secretaries present. Let's appreciate PS as he makes his way. Karibu sana, thank you very much. He calls himself Comrade Fikirini Jacobs. Thank you so much for coming through. Asante sana. Now we can have our seats. Before I continue, just one last moment. We can have our seats, ladies and gentlemen. Asante sana, thank you very much. Allow me just recognize the presence of the student leaders who have joined us. Mkusa student leaders, just stand. I'll start with the finance secretary. Allow me, Jama Mohammed, just wave to the crowd, the finance secretary. Jama, thank you very much. That's Jama Mohammed. We have the social welfare, thank you very much. Claudio Notieno. Then we have the sports welfare. And then we have the academic secretary, Mr. Perret, thank you very much. And then we have the vice chairperson who has joined us. Thank you very much. So ladies and gentlemen, before we continue, allow me just do one moment. I'd like to call the PS and the chief guest to just stand up, and then all the commissioners to join. We just want them to stand, and we have a group photo here because the chief guest has a meeting to attend in the next minutes. So commissioners, let's just join. Faculty, Mkusa leaders, let's just join here at the center here. Let's just join at the center. You just face me, just face. Is this Joy? Joy? They are facing this side. Face this side, then the students stand just behind. Then the students join by the sides. Then the photographers by this side. So students, you can just rise up and join. Just come close. Those behind, come close. Just stand up, let's all stand up. Thank you, let's all stand up. My panelists, you can join the photo. I know you're looking forward to that photo because it's just this session, so let's just join. One more with the panelists. Thank you. Then one for the panelists, the chief guests, commissioners, and the panelists just here when you're facing the students. Students, you can take our seats. The audience can take our seats. Now the panelists with the chief guests, the PS, and the commissioners to just be here and face the camera persons as advised. Panelists join, Mkusa leaders also join, and commissioners, professor, join. The club's chairpersons, the consortium leaders, social science consortium leaders, integrity leaders, the patron integrity. Okay, thank you. Thank you so much. We can take our seats and the panelists can get back. Sorry for the interruption. I know it's engaging. I think we have just around 10 minutes to be wrapping up we have 10 minutes, so kindly, Madam Moderator, be wrapping up in the next 10 minutes. I think we can be giving final remarks, and then I'll call upon Dr. Commissioner Susan Kinyeki to take us to the next stage. Yes, Lynn, back to you. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. Jacob, over to you. How do you think institutions can establish integrity systems?
Thank you. Institutions, I'll take an example of our institution here. You know, we are talking about institutions that are ISO standards, such that we implement these common units that are actually done by everyone. Every learner should have to participate in the course. In that, we should be able to get our learners participate, or rather be examined on the integrity levels. I'll take an imagination whereby we get to practice integrity every now and then, that is true. But again, putting it into a test would mean that we are trying to promote this habit. It is not all about academics alone, or rather putting it into theoretical aspects in classes. But again, schools should be able to get these learners participate in areas that actually involve integrity. We take examples like institutions do have young leaders, Mkusa leadership, for instance, in Mount Kenya universities. These institutions involve these students to participate in leading other students as well. So if these students are taught on how to practice these leadership roles, with integrity being one of the key, or rather one of the most important principles that actually should be learned, or rather be practiced, that alone speaks a lot about the university, or rather institutions. Because we are trying to build up learners that are actually self-aware, that know that integrity should be a mandatory thing, or rather something that is of utmost priority, both in their daily lives and in ways that they involve the normal comrades in the compound that we have. So if we serve with integrity, we lead with integrity, do you think that habit would change when we go out? I doubt. So let us embrace these changes when university brings it out to us. Accept integrity, do it, participate in it, and know yourself. Know how to have this great principle in your life, not just on leadership, but also in ways that you carry yourself around as well. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Jacob. Maybe as I wrap up, because we are narrowing it down, and we are saying corruption is more of a question of character, individual character. Do you think accountability, like holding each other accountable for our own morals, can that curb corruption? Like, if I put it, in class we are taught it's the big brother syndrome, like holding, maybe me holding John here accountable, he has done this. Do you think holding each other accountable can reduce corruption? It's an open question to anyone in the panel. Anyone in the panel?
Definitely agree to that question. If we can hold each other accountable, we can change our way of the perspective of how we choose to conduct ourselves. I know we have all of us have morals, but we can't share the morals that we have. That's right. But if you put an effort upon yourself, upon your friend, you can change a lot of people. For instance, if I tell my friend, what you're doing is not right, and yet his or her friend is also practicing the same thing, she or he will tell the person, this what you're doing, it's not correct, and will be able to change a lot of people, because tell a friend to tell a friend.
Okay. Personally, I also feel like holding each other accountable will help reduce the cases of corruption. Because if I see you are doing wrong, I tell you, decide to change. Yeah. I will take just one question from the audience. Yeah, if there's any. Any question from the audience? Okay, so I'll have closing remarks from Chol. Yeah, and we wrap it up.
Thank you so much, Lynn, for the chant. Anyway, for those people who don't know me, I'm Chol. I'm South Sudanese by nationality, registered under UNHCR in Kenya here, and I'm a student here at Mount Kenya University. Concerning corruption, you know, we need to be honest to ourselves. Even the same, this board, which is Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission in Kenya, does not have any mandate, because I passed through the thing. They don't have any mandate to prosecute individuals who are corrupt. It means they give them to the office and director of public prosecution. If the same institution does not have that mandate to prosecute wrongdoers and people who are corrupt, it means we are lying to ourselves. Because issue of corruption, it will still going to thrive. It is upon us to be ethical, to point them out, and then tell them this is wrong in this manner where they will understand. But the society is so brutal to people who say truth. But it is upon us. If we still keeping this thing to thrive in a certain manner, it will harm our future. It is upon us who are here to work hard, take risks, hug us whistleblowers, hug us watchdog, use our own gadget, like our phone, at least to expose this thing. And from there, I think society can be good. Thank you.
Okay, so charity begins at home. So we start stemming corruption from our very own institutions so that we can be able to look forward to stem corruption in the national level. Yeah, so that's it from us. I have been the moderator of this amazing panel, Lynn Wanja. Until next time, thank you for being an audience.
Thank you. Just as before you leave your seats, allow me to invite Dr. Susan Kinyeki to take us through the plenary Q&A that you'll be answering also. Let's appreciate Dr. as she comes.
Thank you very much, Keegan. Our PS, all protocols observed. God is good, and all the time, and that is his nature. I am just here to react to 2 or 3 points, but first and foremost, let me confess that I'm an alumni, Parkland Law School. Secondly, I was a class president. So let me bring this corruption closer home. Sometimes there are people who don't come to class, but you still find the list is full. That's one. Number 2, when you negotiate about Cat 1, normally Cat 1 is sitting, right? Cat 1 is sitting. Then Cat 2 is take home. In the sitting cat, there is something we used to call Mwakenya. Is that corruption? It is, right? Yes. The third thing is that the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission, this program we are running, we are calling it the Campus Edition. And it's really to include youth in the conversation. We want you to be part of the solution to this problem of corruption. So we want to dialogue with you, and we want to hear your ideas so that we can strengthen integrity in our country. As I was listening to the panel, there's something that came up. Tomorrow is a very important day. There's an event that only comes once in 2 years. Which event is this? World Cup. World Cup starts tomorrow. Arsenal fans, wako? Now, on to my question. Whistleblower. Somebody talked about whistleblower in the panel. I would want you to tell me the difference between whistleblower and a snitch. Madam.
Okay, that was so random, but I'll just try according to my perspective. The difference between a whistleblower and a snitch. A whistleblower has a good intentions when he or she is actually leaking the news or a certain information. He or she prioritizes other people. He or she prioritizes the benefits or puts the safety of other people as a priority compared to a snitch who is actually doing this for self-gain or personal benefit. Yeah, thank you.
In groups, sometimes when you come up with groups, there are people who will never work, right? But they want the marks. Is that lack of integrity? Is it or is it not? It is. Now, I also note that one of the panelists also talked about corruption being systemic or moral issue. And now the question begs, is corruption a moral issue or is it a legal issue? And I want to submit that these two is what we call a vicious circle. The chicken and egg, which one came first? Morality builds corruption, and corruption builds immorality. Okay? So you cannot say that corruption is strictly a legal issue. There is what you are taught. When I look at all of you, you qualify to be my children. There is what we have taught you at home. Okay? These are the morals that we have taught you in school. Now, as you go to campus, are you likely to remain faithful to the morals that we have taught you? So listening to you, I'm very, very proud. At your age, I could not express the way you were doing it, and we are very proud of you. We want to submit that you are on the right path. There is a lot of hope in what you have said. As I was coming, I noted that there is a signage which says 100 meters branch left. This afternoon, we are telling you that we are here to make sure that you take the right path. The issues of ethics and leadership. You see, you may decide to see it as half full or half empty. The fact that you have the audacity to come in front of your colleagues, it actually means that you have some values, which is very, very important for us. Now, we normally say that ignorance of the law is not defense. And I'm happy that this awareness has been created. And my motto to us, as I finish, is that we want to be mad, which means after here we want to make a difference. Tell your neighbor, make a difference.
Make a difference.
We want to make a difference. Incidentally, PS, today is the International Day for Dialogue, for dialogue among civilization. So this conversation is very apt. We are very proud of you, boys and girls. Please one day, hopefully you can come and work with us so that we propagate integrity together. Thank you very much. Okay, kindly you can take your seats. Keep clapping until they sit. It is now my single pleasure and privilege to invite the Vice Chair okay. Dr. Mwiru who shall invite our peers. Thank you very much.
Sir. Our peers, Professor Wanderi, all protocols observed, our other chief guests, the students, good evening. Good evening again. Mine is a noble role to invite one of your own. When he came here, he told me, I am home. I'm home with my people. And I want you to join me to invite the PS, Youth Affairs and Creative Economy, Mr. Fikilini Jacobs. And I have met the PS, and I can attest that he is an advocate of the youth, ni mtetezi wa the young people. He is a role model. If we have time, he can tell you his story. As the youth, you should even go and Google the life of the PS. And he has an amazing story. So comrades, help me welcome, actually stand up, help me welcome PS. Karibu PS.
Thank you so much. Thank you, and please be seated. Thank you, Daktari and Vice Chair and Commissioner of the Eacc, and recognizing the leadership of this institution led by Professor Wanderi, the commissioners here present led by the Vice Chair, who is holding brief for Chair Bishop Dr. David Oginde, who's just stepped out, the leadership of the Mount Kenya University Students Association, the comrades here present. Good evening. Good evening. Comrades, power. Hiyo mmeishiwa power mapema sana bwana. Power imeenda mchana. Comrades, power. Yes. I know for a fact that comrades' power remains to be next after God's power. It was true then, it was true now, and it will be true in days to come. But ladies and gentlemen, I'm very, very privileged to come and join with you in the occasion of yet again a campus edition of the Youth Empowerment on Ethical Leadership, an initiative by the Eacc, and once again to take this opportunity to appreciate so heartily the Eacc for this great idea of going out of the traditional way of doing things, you know, within the independent commissions, to begin to engage the young people who have a great stake in the future of this country. So, for avoidance of doubt, my name is Fikilini Jacobs. I am privileged to serve this administration in the capacity of the Principal Secretary for the State Department for Youth Affairs, Creative Economy, in the Ministry of Youth Affairs, Creative Economy and Sports, led by C.S. Mvurya, in the administration of His Excellency Dr. William Ruto. And I'm also very, very privileged that I am a comrade who is serving comrades. I do not come from very far from campus to join this institution. In fact, I joined this role not more than 2.5 years after my graduation from the university, from Pwani University to be particular. I was here not so long ago. I think I was here months after my appointment during the dinner of the former Mount Kenya University Students Association leadership, convened by a comrade of mine who we sadly and tragically lost after this event. Comrade Kaunda. And I also want to join with the entire fraternity to also send my hearty condolences to this comrade of ours, a visionary who sadly his life was cut short. So back to our main topic, why I'm very happy to join this event today, and also to say I'm sorry that I came a bit late. I had committed to come here exactly at 2:30. I actually wanted to be the first one so that I become an example to be used for matters of integrity and punctuality. But I sadly lost that creed today. It is because of other preceding events that were a bit pressing, but all the same, I'm happy that I made my way here. Why I personally said I'll come here even if I'm late, it is because of the need to engage the young people on matters leadership and integrity. Why? Because 5 out of the 6 continents today on earth are either facing demographic drift or are glaring at one. In fact, it is only the continent of Africa that enjoys the definition of being a youthful continent. And why it is so? It is because of the lenses of countries like Kenya, which has 75.1% being under 35. It is because of countries like Ethiopia, Uganda, Nigeria, South Africa, and a lot more. So when we proudly associate ourselves of being part of 3/4 of our population of Kenya, on this very earth, there are countries who sadly are facing the opposite, that 3/4 of their population is the elderly, and therefore they are pushing limits to innovate and so that they can prepare for terrible days ahead. But while this is so, the demography that we enjoy, the youthful population, the energy of the young people in Kenya cannot be defined as a problem to be solved. It is a resource that we can leverage on to change the course of many things in our country, be it leadership, be it integrity, be it economy, our social fabric, and a lot more. It is an important resource which is very golden to other people on this same earth that we step on. And I know for a fact, in one of the conferences held, I think in 2002, in South Africa, among the African Union leadership, one of them who addressed them was the late comrade Robert Mugabe. And he said that for any process of meaningful development, the people must always come first. That is to mean, if we intend to empower and leverage on the ability, the energy, the bravado, the caspa of the young people of Kenya, we have no option but to present them first in the line. And that is why I join with Eacc in appreciating all the initiatives that people undertaking, and of course under the leadership of Eacc, to see that as much as possible we push limits, we inspire and involve the young people of Kenya, so that then in them we cannot just say we have the hope, but we invest that hope in them. And that is why I sincerely want really to appreciate each and every one of us, and to tell the young people of Kenya here present and beyond, we must all be proud of the mere fact that at our age we are youth. And I will remember, of course, among the 5 years I served as a student leader in 2 campuses, Masai Mara University and Pwani University, I was also privileged at some point to be the Bible study assistant coordinator of the Christian Union. And I know a verse that has failed to go out of my mind. In the book of Esther, chapter 4, verse 14, the story of Mordecai to Esther. And Mordecai tells Esther, while awaiting slander or murder, Mordecai tells Esther, you have come to the royal position for such a time as this, so that you can deliver our people. If, behold, you will not be able to deliver our people, deliverance may come from another place as God may command. But if we are destroyed, even your father's house will not be spared. And the moral of the story I picked is for such a time as this. We are youth of Kenya in 2026 for such a time as this, so that we can make some shifts. We can make some change. We are the young people of the world today. Because if you got me correct, when I said 5 of the 6 continents on earth are battling an aging crisis, that means even them are depending on the energy of the youth of Africa and Kenya to be able to prescribe and bring forth solutions that will also affect them positively. And that is why, while appreciating the fact that we are young people in this country for such a time as this, it is in us that lies the hope, that lies the aspiration deep in our chest of being able to instigate and inspire some changes while we also live. But I know, ladies and gentlemen, comrades and friends, while we face all this, while be part of, high-level panels like I have had my very dear good comrades' contributions, I know for a fact that there is a lot of shifts, even at national level here. You might have heard, not once, not twice, not thrice, a lot more times, that we are pushing limits to move from third world to first world. And I know when we move around, we see these infrastructural developments. We may say that this alone is what will push, so that we get there. But I know, as a young person serving in the social sector of this administration, I know the youth are a very big contributor into the realization of any vision, nationally or even globally. And I know for a fact that our mindset shift, the ability, in the words of the former student of MKU, who was just come to the stage, our ability to see the cup as being half full and not as half empty is what will greatly contribute the software that will contribute to the meaningful change. Change is very good. But I sat and thought, I read something in psychology called, by a philosopher come psychologist called Emil Durkheim, who was researching on the cases of suicide rates during the era of Industrial Revolution. Then I asked myself, why was it necessary for Emil Durkheim to study suicide rates during the era of Industrial Revolution? Industrial Revolution was such a good thing that the Europe was abandoning physical engagements, physical work, and they are going to machines. But why were there suicide cases? It is because while change is very good, sometimes people who don't keep up with the pace of change, they choose to leave the group. And how do they move? They find some other ways to do their things, and they hit a snag, they fall into depression, they fall into some shortcuts, they want to, be rich, and almost immediately and suddenly, and after some point, they hit a snag, they hit a dead end, and they cannot move ahead in life. So what happens is they resolve to commit suicide. In fact, my dear young people who are here, I want to tell you confidently and also make an appeal to us that while we bear the aspirations of this country and continent, I beseech you with all due respect and humility that may we forge ahead while we hold dear values and ethos that are able to transform the country as we move. and to be able to have us approach change in a manner that it may not be disastrous to us, it will be important if we can consider our ability to change our thinking, to change our approach, to approach things differently, and like I said, to see the cup as half full, not as half empty. Appoint yourself, just as I did, to be an ambassador of change. For Kenya will not confidently change without your participation. And that is why I ask you in earnest that please, let's be comrades. If you know the definition of a comrade is a fellow socialist, a fellow communist. Let's be comrades in this journey. Let's work together in this journey so that we can also uphold integrity. You might have read the story of this Singapore Prime Minister, Lee Yuan. But Singapore Prime Minister introduced one fundamental software to the population of Singapore, which I think is also important for us to be introduced as part of our values. And it is what Eacc is doing in our case. The Prime Minister of Singapore introduced a law against public spitting. Public spitting was more general in Singapore. Anybody would spit in the public. But when he introduced that law, you may see that it is not directly related to the change of moving from third world to first world. But the essence of that was to introduce social responsibility, communal responsibility, so that in your own avenue, you could at least contribute to wellness of the community by not being spitting in the public. And this is something which it might be not so available for anyone to go and pick for themselves. But I know it is through some of these engagements that honestly and in earnest we can be able to live the dream. I know corruption is not an event. My school of thought, my own individual philosophy will define corruption among many definitions as not being spontaneous. It is something of the will. It takes a spirit that thought about it. It takes a heart that won over the determination. It takes a spirit that won over resilience and took a step. And while taking that step, plunged into a corruption. Ladies and gentlemen, you all know that a single act of corruption can destroy an entire system. And that is why it is not all lost on me that while we sit here as young people of Kenya, I know for a fact we do not just account for a bigger part of our population. We also account for a bigger change of our society. And I beseech you, I know for a fact, I followed this process of trying to see how young people, move from down there, rise up the ladder with a lot of challenges, with a lot of struggle. Some die down and lose hope and lose the desire, sell the dream. You know how people sell their dreams. If you want to know how people sell their dreams, you can imagine the story of Jacob and Esau in the Bible, and sometimes lose the energy out of fighting. But I know that while history of this world will be written, there is a chapter, if not a paragraph, for you today. But how do you get there? You need to get there by carving a niche for yourself today and saying, I'm not just going to be a recipient of information around integrity and corruption, but a passive actor in the campaign against corruption and in the campaign enhancing integrity in our Kenyan soil. I know I came late and I deserve to be here much earlier so that I can speak, a lot more things to us. I have fairly not so much to share to us, but I wish to stop it at that. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you so much for your time and for listening to me. Thank you so much. God bless you.
Thank you very much. Let's appreciate the PS. Asante sana. What a powerful talk. Indeed, I told you once a comrade, always a comrade. So ladies and gentlemen, just as we gear towards the end of the program, allow me invite Dr. Cecilia Mutuku, who will give us an inspirational life story actual life story of rebuilding trust through ethical leadership. As Dr. comes, I also request the choir to be preparing, because after Dr. we shall have a music interlude, then we go straight into a short plenary session, Q&A, and then we go to launching of the Integrity Club, and then we finish. So the choir, kindly, you have some 2 minutes to prep. You have some 3 minutes to prep as Dr. takes us through life story. Karibu Dr.
Thank you so much, our able MC. Thank you, our PS, the EACC members present here, the leadership of the university, and our guests today, who are the students. Good evening. Yeah, I'll not keep you long. I know we have been sitting for long. When I was given this assignment, I think it's the hardest. Have you ever been told to talk about yourself in public? I didn't want, I almost refused, but by the time I realized it was too late, I'll just try to summarize a bit. As I stand here, I need to point my hand or my fingers at you. And as I point at you, one finger is pointing at you. How many are pointing at me? 3. True or false? Yeah, so that tells you none of us has got it right. We are all work in progress as in this journey of morality. And since I'm talking to young people, I just remembered a few years ago, my daughter, I was in church. Then after I left church at around 1 on a Saturday, I found like 10 missed calls from my daughter, and I knew there was trouble. So when I called her, I asked her, what is happening? She told me she was at a police station. What had happened? The police, we had bought her this small car because she used to go to the university, leave the university, go to youth, train the youth in church, leave the church, come home, and she used to arrive late. So I remember I went to my chama. This is a true story. Got a small loan and bought for her a car. And I went and put on the back of the car that seek ye first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all the others will be added to you. That was a reminder to her that it was not that she deserved it, it was for service to God. So when I got that missed call, she told me she had been caught by the police. That was 1 p.m. So I called, I asked her, can I come? She said no. The police had gotten her trying to speed. She was trying to overtake. She told me she was trying to overtake a Range Rover. Can you imagine a small car? I think the lowest cc of a car. And she was trying to overtake a Range Rover. I don't know what she had in mind. So she was taken to the police station. And they tried to ask her for money from a student. I don't know how many of you have money to give, And she refused. So she stayed and she was held there. When they realized at 4 that she could not give, nothing could come out, they released her from 8 to 4. That taught me that the little actions of parenting truly had a small impact on her. So looking back, I was told to share a story about myself. I started asking myself, I don't know why I was told to share. The one who told me is here. I don't know why she decided. But I realized over time, you become like work in progress. You make up decisions. And I'm very grateful to the young people who are here and the drama team. The decisions we make, we are in control. Every decision we make, we are in control. When I was in class 6, my CRE teacher told me, the difference between animals and human beings is because human beings have self-will. So from that time, I always ask myself, do I want to be an animal or a human being? And I've decided to be a human being. So when we make decisions which animals are not able to make, then we equate ourselves to that. Anyway, so fast forward, when I reflected on after I was told to come and give this reflection, I realized 4 main people have had an influence in my life on the walk of integrity. The first one is my dad.
My dad was a head teacher of a high school and a man of high moral standards. I remember when he left the school, and those are many years ago, people were saying, this man is very foolish because he had left the account, school account, with millions of shillings. So to the society, he was a foolish man. I didn't know those days about integrity, and I didn't know it would have an impact on my life. The other one was, of course, my elder sister. And when I was going to the university, she was in Jomo Kenyatta earlier than me. And campus life is not easy. This is where you make or break. True or false? Comrades, true or false? And by the way, I was in the university the same year with the founder of this university. He was my classmate. So great things. I have a connection with this university. So she gave me hints on how to live at campus. And I was a good student. I listened. The other one has been my spouse. I call him the true north. When I try not sure about a decision, that's my true north. And the third one is this girl, the one who was caught by the police. Can a child be a mentor of a parent? Can a child be a mentor of a parent? You can be mentors to your parents. You might be finding yourself in a situation and you question the decisions being done by your parents. I guarantee you she has played a very key role on who I am since she was a child. Just to give a hint, when she was small, primary, and we were traveling after church, she would ask, we were sitting in front and she would ask through the back, so what did you learn in church today? That is a standard 4. So she would question us every Sunday, me and my husband. So, do you want to be questioned and you have no idea what went on in church by a standard 4? So that's why she has always been keeps me on track. So what have I learned? And something else also I have learned up to this journey. I can say I went to very good schools. And when I say very good school, it's not a national school. I'm sure some of us are sitting here. We are at Mount Kenya University today. But we are thinking we are not in one of the best universities. We are thinking of the people who are America, sijui wapi. I've learned to appreciate every point of my life. I was not in a national school, but I have told myself I had the best school. So that makes me always keep a true positive attitude which directs me. What have I learned? My benchmark and my competition is myself. I compete with myself. I always want to be a better self. Even if my neighbor, today when I was leaving my estate and the people I came with, they know, I saw a neighbor with which is the latest number plate of a car, KD what? That one. But I don't feel pressure. That is something I've learned. At this age, you must be having a lot of pressure. True or false? Pressure to dress, pressure for friendship, pressure. That is one thing I've kept off my life. I compete with myself, and for that, it does not give me unnecessary pressure of peer pressure. Another thing I've also realized is to try to do things right first time. So I also set standards for myself. What do? I've decided to give myself the best. Whatever it is, if it's academics, I said I'll give myself the best. Whatever, I give myself the best. So those are standards which I've set for myself in course of my life. Has it been easy? No. I can give you a capital no. I realized the more you try to stay on the straight and narrow road, the more you attract. In a forest full of crooked trees, which tree will be the first to be cut? The crooked or the straight? The straight one. So I've been a target of being cut several times in my careers, but it has always ended up very, very well. I can testify that. Even with all that strong foundation, my actions are grounded on the word of God. I've decided that I will live and I'll work for the God I serve. So I know what I do is a ministry. Even where I am in Eacc today, I take it as a ministry. For us as students today, academics is very important. Academics is very, very critical. But you might be very bright. With the wrong attitude, I can assure you, it will open for you a door. But with the right attitude, the door will be opened longer. So I encourage us to focus on the right attitude, because that's what will keep our doors open for longer. So to be a leader, an ethical leader, how to build this? I encourage us to be consistent. When you are told, and the PS has told us he was to come here 8, he's a busy man. But for us as students, what time do we come to class? I'm sure there are some of us who are consistently on time for church, for school, for home meetings, whatever it is. And it's a mindset. I like the way those who have said it's a mindset. What we set in our minds, it's really what influences us. So consistency, transparency, and of course, service. Why Kenya is where it is today, we who are public servants, we have stopped being public servants, and we have become self-servants. We are serving ourselves. We have been entrusted with public resources. So instead of using those resources for public, they have become self-resources. So that's where we are, and as young people, you have been encouraged. There's a great opportunity ahead of us, and I can guarantee you, given a choice, I'll walk the same journey. Given the same, I will walk the same journey. Is it worth it? Absolutely. Let me tell you, when you choose, and we are work in progress, we can't say anybody is perfect. We are always working to improve. When you make the right decisions, regardless whether they are popular or not, what happens? You have a peace of mind. You have a peace of mind. If there's a voting being done, I can guarantee you I will vote with my conscience. We are told we either vote with our conscience or with our whatever. I don't know what is said. You know, we are told you either vote with your conscience or with our stomachs. I guarantee you today, even if I was given what money, I'll go by my conscience. What does that do? It sets your mind free. You have a freedom you can't explain. It also, you get freedom. It also makes lasting relationships, and also your sustain takes longer, but it is gradual and more assured. As I come to the end, I wish to say that you must be having something to anchor you, to keep you on the straight and narrow path. For me, I've said it's my faith and my trust in God. Because He has done it before, He will do it now, and I know He will do it in the future. I have many testimonies. You look for me one day, I'll tell you. So finally, we are all shaping the future of this great nation and Kenya. Our qualifications, academic, whatever you are doing, I heard some of you are doing different courses. They will open doors, but our character will determine how long those doors will stay open. As students of this university, I encourage us, choose integrity over convenience, choose service over self-interest, choose courage over compromise, build trust, one decision at a time. May we all strive to leave every place we go, every institution, every community, even our generation, better than the way we found it. God bless you. God bless you all. Thank you.
Thank you. Let's appreciate Dr. Thank you very much for such an inspiration. So ladies and gentlemen, allow me to invite the MKU choir who will take us through a music performance reflecting on trust, integrity, and ethical leadership. And then we shall go straight into the Q&A from the audience, and then we launch the Integrity Club. So the MKU choir, karibuni sana.
Jambo bwana, habari gani? Nzuri sana. Wageni wakaribishwa shule yetu, hakuna matata. Sote jambo. Jambo, jambo, jambo bwana. Habari gani? Nzuri sana. Wageni wakaribishwa shule yetu, hakuna matata. Jambo, jambo, jambo bwana. Habari gani? Nzuri sana. tusikilize, tuna habari za kufurahisha, tunaomba mtusikilize, twawasihi Wakenya wote, tuna jukumu la kuhamasisha na kuelimisha, sote kwa pamoja. Maadili na usawa ndio msingi katika uongozi ili kujenga taifa bora. Twawasihi Wakenya wote, tuna jukumu la kuhamasisha na kuelimisha, sote kwa pamoja. Maadili na usawa ndio msingi katika uongozi ili kujenga taifa bora.
Wapi makofi ya wanakwaya wetu. Thank you very much. Indeed, what an inspiration. Asante sana. And now we go to just some Q&A. And I think I'll invite Ms. Stella Pendo from Eacc. I think the first 3 questions will be the ones that, yes, I've already seen the first hand. But before that, allow me to invite Ms. Stella Pendo at least to say something. But there's one hand that raised so early that is here. So welcome.
Thank you so much. The PS for Youth Affairs and Creative Economy. Allow me to ride on the protocols that was set since this afternoon. Comrades, MKU fraternity, participants, you'll agree with me that all the way from the keynote address by the Eacc chairperson, the address by the PS, the panel discussions, and the experiences by Dr. Cecilia, we have basically been having a discourse about how we can rebuild trust in our leadership and how, as the next generation, we can redefine what ethical leadership looks like. So since we did not come here to talk at you, this is your opportunity for you to give your feedback, to ask questions relating to this thematic area. So this is how we are going to do it. I know time is gone, but then what we are going to do is we are going to make the questions short, simple, smart, and sweet, so that we ensure that every question is responded to and we don't stay here for a longer period of time. So this is your opportunity for you to ask any question that you may have relating to the subject area. I hear there was one person who was ready to go first. I hope we have mics on the ground. And please, as you ask your question, please say whom you are addressing that question to, so that it is easier for the question to be responded to. So the first one, yes, the one with the mic. Tell us your name.
Okay, thank you so much. All protocol observed. My name is Joshua Obiero, a recent graduate from this great institution and the MCA aspirant in my ward, that is Kisii County. My question goes to, thank you. My question goes to our peers. I have actually been a big fan of you. I've been following your story. And you had gone through a lot of challenges when you were in campus, having transferred from, having been expelled from Masai Mara University, and then you went to Pwani University. So you went through a lot of challenges. And now that we are talking about matters corruption, how did you manage to handle the challenges of moving from the lower ranks to up to where you are as the youngest PS in our country? How did you manage to handle the challenges and move through these corrupt routes in our country? Thank you.
Thank you. We are keeping it short and simple. I am sure PS will have so many other questions, so probably let us have like 2, 3 before we respond to them. We have another hand there.
All protocol observed. My name is Caroline Wandia. I'm studying Thika Technical. Thank you. First, I thank the PS for taking his time and speaking with us. We appreciate him presence. Sorry. My question is, how can young people safely report corruption without fear or victimization, because you represent us in the government? The second question is about what mechanisms are placed to ensure transparency in youth empowerment programs and funds. My third question is about general question. We talk about ethical, but in my opinion, we need to understand about law, how it talks about corruption. So I need the clarification about law. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. There was a hand here, the one with the mic.
Thank you very much. Comrades power, comrades real, comrades achu. Thank you very much. I am Okech Solomon Aira, the incoming National Youth Council Chairman and alumni of the University of Nairobi. With me as a lead, I have my delegation. You can stand up and wave before I ask any question. Thank you very much. So I'm very happy to be in MKU today because we have one of our alumni to be Honorable Fikirini Jacobs. So my question is, you know, as the incoming National Youth Council Chairman, wherever I go, I'm being told in Kenya, most billionaires and millionaires does not own any company in Kenya or anywhere in the world. They are just millionaires and billionaires from the blue moon. So EACC, my question to you people, what are you doing? Because us as young people, when we watch a lot of news, we see people are being ambushed with their loads of cash, but after 2 days, the story is gone under the bridge. We are again waiting for another scandal. So as young people, what are we being taught so that we can see, is there work that is going, so that even me as a young professional, I can be inspired to work with integrity, knowing that I am accountable to something. Finally, Honorable Fikirini Jacobs, on 20th of this month, June, we are hosting Men's Mental Health Awareness. Since it's a Men's Mental Health Month, mavijana tunataka tupelekwe out na tujiongelele on 20th June at KICC. I'm welcoming everyone, and Honorable Fikirini Jacob will be our chief guest. Na nishasema, asanteni sana, Mungu awabariki. Comrades power, comrades real, MKU achu. Hey, hadi private university munapiga kelele hivi.
Okay, thank you. Maybe we can have like 2 more for EACC, and then the PS can respond to them, and EACC will have an opportunity to respond to the questions.
Good evening. My name is Joy Rebecca Awur. I'm a student here at Mount Kenya University, and I have a question, but I won't pinpoint it to anyone. My question is, if you had the political capital to actually make a reform, just one reform, that would increase or rather change the ROI when it comes to curbing. Okay, when I'm talking on ROI, I mean the return on investment in curbing corruption. So if you had the political capital to actually just make a reform that will change the rate of corruption or how corruption is being done in the country, what will it be? What will the reform be? Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Can have 2 more.
My name is Jacob Joseph, and I'll go straight to the question. That is to the PS. The youths in our nation are actually calling out, saying that we are not involved, but we want to be part in finishing off the corruptions in Kenya. But how is EACC using tech, social media, and university students, the like of us, in finishing up the corruption that is so rampant in our nation, Kenya? That is an area that we would like to know if at all there is a chance for us to participate in this very great avenue. Thank you.
Thank you. One last one.
Good evening. My name is Roger Spoon. My question is directed to EACC. What are you doing to improve your image to the society or to the nation? Since you arrest people in very weird hours, why can't you do it at daytime? And why are you not making sure that you prosecute those who you get with cash or maybe public possession? Thank you.
Thank you for those comments and question. I think I can give the PS a go. We have quite a number of questions that have been addressed to him. And then we'll have the EACC team, we have the commissioners, we have director and AD. You will respond to the other questions for EACC.
So thank you. And to the first question from Comrade Joshua, and I wish you all the best in your bid. Yeah? How I handle the temptations of corruption, being a young person, the youngest principal secretary, and being the youngest principal secretary means the youngest accounting officer in the government, because the role of PS is to be accounting officer in the State Department. One is I have tried so much to find my life on a deeper cultivation of virtue. The virtue of courage, the virtue of wisdom, the virtue of self-respect, and the virtue of justice. These are the virtues that I have tried to associate myself so greatly within the context of morality, so that they guide me. Another thing which has been said by Dr. here, and which is important, is self-acceptance. You know, I don't come from Karen. You know, I was not born in Runda. I was born in Bamba, the most westerly part of Kilifi County, bordering Savo and some other dry place in Kwale called Kinango. I think people, almost every young person who follows me, know that I was born in Bamba. It is not just home. It is accepting a terrible past. It is accepting a thorny background. And I believe for me, self-acceptance is the foundation of any meaningful change in life. So how I move and how I handle situations, because I so much pursue virtue. And of course, a lot more, but we can discuss that one in the interest of time. Caroline asked 3 questions, but I think not all of them belong to me. I will pick what mechanisms guarantee transparency in offering government services, especially youth programs. For the 1 and 2 months, 1 year, 2 months have been the PS. I think with a lot of goodwill from His Excellency the President, we have tried so much to introduce a platform that ensures that every young person in every ward, regardless of who they know, stand a chance to benefit. And a very good example is the Nyota program. The Nyota program targets 820,000 young people across Kenya. This is a national tally which is equally and equitably distributed across all the 1,450 wards in Kenya. the numbers of beneficiaries you'll find in one ward are the numbers of beneficiaries you'll find in the next ward. How did we get here? Digital. Every young person got an opportunity without filling any form, without any physical engagement, to apply through the Star 254 platform. So that way, every young person had an opportunity. And I think you heard all the testimonies of the young people. They got this thing as a shock to a majority of them. They did not know the village elder. They were not known to anybody. But they stood equal chances like any other person. And that's what we need to encourage more, so that all other programs within government can also embrace digitalization and reduce paperwork interaction, so that then we can give it an opportunity. Another thing I think is the issue of EGP, the e-government procurement. What e-government procurement does, I think for the young people who are interested in tenderpreneurship, is it reduces the risk of corruption by ensuring that there are no papers for anybody to tamper with. It is not like before, where you submit paperwork or you submit a file and then someone comes in the night because he wants to disadvantage you, plucks out your ID photocopy and ensures that the other one is intact, so that tomorrow during maybe tender opening or evaluation, you are disadvantaged from the beginning. So this is one of the avenues that guarantees that. My brother, the incoming chair of the National Youth Council, and I wish you all the best. You have invited me for, you asked me a question to the Eacc, but lastly, you invited me for a talk, a kikao ya mavijana. So mimi nitakuja, lakini msinambie niweke mawe kwa sababu hiyo ni corruption bwana. Rebecca asked a very bold question, and congratulations my sister. I think hivyo ndo nafaa kufocus. Rebecca Award. She asked, if you have political capital, what is that one thing which, when introduced, can reduce the risk or rate of corruption? I believe she said it was a general question, but my answer will be very simple. I would invest any day in mindset shift. And I think the other one was Jacob again, but it was general, on how Eacc is using technology and the young people being abrasive and they need to be engaged. I can answer as on the sidelines of that question that as a State Department for Youth Affairs and Creative Economy, through the National Youth Council, we have an active MOU with the Eacc, so that way we can also introduce youth engagement. I think the other question from Rogers about image of Eacc and what time they arrest people is not mine to answer. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, PS. The Vice Chair, Eacc.
Thank you, PS, for answering some of the questions. I'll address one question which was asked about people being billionaires, and Eacc, they just go and get those people and then the story ends there. Before I answer that question, let me briefly talk about Eacc. Eacc is a constitutional commission. That is, it is established by the commission, by the Constitution. And Eacc is a read agency to fight corruption. What does that mean? It has to work with others, because Eacc alone cannot be able to fight and finish corruption. And actually our goal is to have a Kenya without corruption. Now, Eacc's mandate is fourfold. Our mandate deals with prevention. Like now, what we are here, one of the goal is to prevent corruption. Because when we empower you
with the being ethical, we are trying to prevent corruption. Public education, promotion of ethics and ethical standards. And the last one is enforcement. So, majority of you know EACC. When you see people walking at the revolving doors, and you saw the other day, this week, somebody walked through the doors with boxes of cash. However, yes, we do enforcement, but we have to follow the law. What somebody like that who walked along the revolving doors, he is a suspect. So he has to go through the process. And we want to be fair, and therefore, that is why even sometimes you see people, the story will fade away, but it doesn't mean that the process has stopped. EACC investigates. When we investigate, we pass the file to the Director of Public Prosecution. The Director of Public Prosecution can decide to take that file to court or just drop the case. And then if the Director of Public Prosecution decides to take the case to court, then we hand it over to the judiciary. So what am I saying? EACC works with other partners, and EACC has achieved a lot. Actually, if you go to our website, we have corrected, we recover stolen assets. I don't have the figure here, but we have recovered a lot of assets. And when we recover those, we give it back to the public. So what I'm going to say, don't aim to be a billionaire, because the law will catch up with you. It might take years. Like now we recovered land belonging to Karura Forest. It took us 30 years. Was it 30 years? 30 years to recover that land. But the other day we were at Karura planting trees. We recovered 17 acres. 17 acres. The other day we also recovered land along Mombasa Road, where about a few individuals had stolen a very big piece of land. And now that land is being used for social housing and affordable housing. So EACC is doing a lot, but we are also calling on you to join in this fight against corruption. I have my directors here. I have Dr. Kanyeki, I have Joyce, I have Vincent, I have my fellow commissioners. I'll call upon Vincent to answer the other questions, and also Dr. Kanyeki to talk about how you can report. Somebody asked about reporting corruption issues. You can report, but it will be explained by Dr. Kanyeki. Vincent, please.
Thank you, Vice Chair. Good afternoon, comrades. I think somebody said here that the fight against corruption is not an event, isn't it? It is a journey. And from the EACC perspective, the journey is multi-pronged. We enforce the law against corruption through investigation, asset recovery. We also prevent corruption through engaging Kenyans and targeted groups like yourselves. We also look at institutions, public institutions. We find out vulnerabilities in those systems of public institutions on what needs to be done to strengthen them. That we do through corruption risk assessments and systems examination. We also issue a lot of advisories to county governments and public institutions. That's a prevention approach. 3, we have the leadership and integrity chapter in our constitution, isn't it? Please find time to read it, especially chapter 6, from Article 73 all the way to Article 80. It starts by saying that public office is a trust. Tuko pamoja? The trust that we are talking about here. So if you have been entrusted by that office, how do you even get into that office? That is Article 74. What are the key requirements for you to be in that office? And once you get in, how do you conduct yourself? Financial probity, and so on and so forth. And there are certain safeguards that are put that if you are holding a state office, for instance, you may not hold dual citizenship. Tuko pamoja? The Constitution talks about that. And in Article 79, it actually establishes the Eacc. So I want to invite you as people of goodwill and people who want to support the war against corruption to acquaint yourself with Chapter 6 of our Constitution and the laws that operationalize it. The Leadership and Integrity Act 2012 and also the Conflict of Interest Act. We also have the Anti-Bribery Act of 2016, as well as the Anti-Corruption and Economic Crimes Act of 2003 that has been amended from time to time to strengthen the way it operates. So one of you asked the question, what does the law say about corruption? I just want to quickly tell you that there are pieces of legislation that characterizes corruption in 2 areas. One, we look at corruption as bribery, and the other one is economic crimes. Tuko pamoja? In the bribery aspect, the Anti-Bribery Act sets out offenses of corruption. And I just want to highlight them very quickly in the interest of time. Giving a bribe, accepting a bribe, or soliciting a bribe. So even soliciting or looking for a bribe is an offense and it's punishable. 2 is when you bribe a foreign agent or a foreign agent bribes a Kenyan, that's an act of corruption that can be punished. 3, failure to report corruption. The Anti-Bribery Act says, if you see an act of corruption and within, 24 hours, you have not reported, you can also be charged. So witnessing or participating in corruption is one thing, but failure to report it and it can be seen that you didn't report can attract sanctions. So I want to invite you students to be alive to the anti-bribery offenses. There are many other offenses. Economic crime offenses, as defined in the Anti-Corruption and Economic Crimes Act. 1 is abuse of office. And I'm sure this is what all of you hear about. When people take public office, they don't build the trust that is expected under Article 73 of the leadership, of the Constitution. They misuse those offices for their own private gain. So if you go anywhere on the internet, you will see a lot of definitions about abuse of entrusted power for private gain. So that has also been clearly defined in our laws, and people have been charged in court with offenses of abuse of office. And of course, there is also fraud and embezzlement of public funds. Somebody talked about, you can choose to engage in corruption. If you have pressure as a young person to look rich and affluent, my friend, you will engage in corruption. And if the opportunity can present itself for you to be corrupt, see, utakuwa corrupt. And of course, if you rationalize, oh, maybe I will not be caught. After all, everybody else is doing it. You will be charged with an offense of embezzlement and fraud. Bribery of public servants. When people give money to the traffic police officer, sometimes we see that traffic police officer as the problem, isn't it? Have you ever thought about the person giving the bribe? Have you? Especially matatu operators are very ready to oil the pockets of traffic officers. Conflict of interest, I would like my colleague from ethics to talk about it. But generally, the law defines corruption very clearly, and also offenses that are related to some, punishment that are related to some of these offenses. How Eacc is using social media to fight corruption. I want to say here that we are going very big on social media, because that is the place where we all interact anyway, isn't it? As much as it may not help us to build all the trust we need, as the chair is saying, but technology is driving us towards social media. So if you are keen and you visit our website, you'll find a Twitter account there, where we channel a lot of information to the public about what we are doing, some of the breaking news in terms of investigation and other aspects of the commission. So we have a Twitter handle which you can use. We have a Facebook account that also allows us to interact with you and others. We have a YouTube channel where we post a lot of content. And if you are keen, we have advertised some position for content creators, isn't it? Just yesterday, under public education, because we want to ensure we entrench digital media and social media in the fight against corruption. We also have a TikTok account where we educate the public about corruption. So we can engage the youth quite a bit in this area. Finally, we have a competition that is going on with the youth that are ICT savvy, a hackathon, where we are challenging young people who have knowledge and skills in ICT to help us develop simple solutions for the fight against corruption. That hackathon is going on, and we are looking at case management. We have teams working right now to give us various solutions on case management. And that is how we are engaging the youth. I think the issue of political capital, the politicians in the House can help us, but I believe one of the things is that having a political position in this country has been misconstrued to think that it only helps the politician. It's a very strategic position that can help influence change. Leading from the front and saying no to corruption at a political level and demonstrating it is a very powerful way of fighting corruption. Tuko pamoja? When one of you or any of you one day finds a position, either in the county assembly or the National Assembly or the Senate, can you support policies and laws that fight corruption? Can you fight corruption among your peers? Can you set that tone at that level and drive a critical mass of Kenyans towards the fight against corruption? That is the political capital we require to support the war against corruption. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much. 4 quick points. First and foremost, I need to say that corruption is a happy crime. Happy. Tumesalimiana na yeye na tumesikizana. Shida iko wapi? Do you get? So it is the rest of you that are looking at us engaging in corruption that we think that you need to report to us. Now, the next point, how do you report corruption? We have various categories, and by the grace of God, I'm in charge of complaints, and there are ways you can report corruption. Number one, through email, report@integrity.go.ke. Number two, you can write a letter to EACC. Number three, you can walk in at Integrity Center. We also have 11 regional offices. That is Mombasa, Kisumu, Garissa, Bungoma, Eldoret, Machakos, Nakuru, Kisii, Isiolo, Nyeri, and Malindi. Number three, we have a toll-free line, 1551. If you dial 1551, it is a toll-free line whereby you'll be able to report corruption without being known, so to speak. Now, the third point is the issue of we arrest in the morning and what happens. I need us to understand that in this country, we have what we call presumption of innocence, which therefore means that even the people we have arrested, before we arraign them in court and the charges are read, they remain innocent. And if it is us who have taken you to court, the burden of proof is on us to prove how you are corrupt. Therefore, why do we raid? When you come to your home, there is a surprise element, and we like it. And by the way, before we come to your home, we have to go to court and swear an affidavit because we are coming to your private space. And we have to tell court that, court, we believe ABCD has some money or has some, mostly his money or assets that he cannot explain using his known source of income. So when we come to your home, we serve you with the warrants. And it is not proper for us to come to your home without you being present. So what happens? We have to catch up with you, make sure that you're in the vicinity so that we take you to your home, we serve you the warrants, and then you open for us all the places. And let me tell you, comrades, that is the worst thing that can happen to any human being. Can you imagine your children saying, "Daddy, Daddy, haya, wanakuanga wezi." Some of the homes we have raided, the children have been unable to go to school the following day. Why? They are saying, "Daddy ni mwizi." Who wants to put children through that? The last thing is that we all need to plug in. We do not have prisons for 50 million Kenyans. In fact, we don't even have 50 million officers. We only have slightly below 1,000 to deal with all the corruption in the country. Therefore, I ask us, plug in. Yes, therefore I ask us to plug in so that we can be able to fight corruption. Lastly, we have BKMS, Business Keeper Monitoring System. This is an anonymous tool. It is right on our website, and the beauty with this tool is that it gives you a numeric number so that you report to us white-collar crime, because we believe that we may not be able to know what is happening inside the offices or even inside the campuses. So it is up to us to use what we call the BKMS system so that you can be able to report to us matters of corruption. Use of technology. We are, as my colleague has said, TikTok, but as a person in charge of complaints, I also get to see what you are posting in your social media. And the good thing with us is that for you, your parents may not tell you, but when you go to Bahamas for holidays or wherever, for you, you are posting photos. For us, we want to find out how come this person is a clerical in a certain county and they are able to afford a holiday in the Bahamas. So what do? We look at your lifestyle quietly without you knowing. The reason is corruption does not happen in the open. It happens in dark corners. With those many remarks, I want to, Joyce, do you want to say something? Okay. My colleague, anything? Looks like we have summed up. Madam Pendo.
Thank you, thank you. Thank you all who participated in this session. Due to time constraints, we are going to close the session there. But this being an academic institution, I'll give you a take-home assignment. Please go and download the Conflict of Interest Act of 2025 so that you get to know the conflict of interest offenses. I also need to remind you that this entire program was being streamed live through our Eacc Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube platforms. So you can still go and get what has transpired from those platforms. The other thing is that as much as we are saying we are closing out this session, you can continue engaging with us. The Eacc officers who are here before we leave, you can engage us, you can write to us, you can call us, or you can reach us through our social media platforms. With that, thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Ms. Pendo. I think we're finalizing, and I want us to come to the last session, which is the launch of the Ethics and Integrity Club. Bona PS, I'll kindly invite you on stage with all EACC commissioners and directors, MKU faculty present also. Just come on stage. The Integrity Club officials. Yes, Prof. Yes, EACC commissioners and directors. Just come, just at the center here. The Integrity Club officials. Professor and your team. All the officials kindly of the Integrity Club, because when I do this, kindly officials of Integrity, let's hurry because we are out of time. Trevor and your team, kindly let's hurry. The task is simple. We just want to launch a symbolic launch for the Integrity Club, where we shall be handing over the constitution of the Integrity Club now to the professor, and then professor will also hand the constitution now to the student in charge, and then we shall be okay. Professor, you also join the club because you're stepping in for the patron, or the patron, the patron now will come this side. Prof B. Now the EACC commissioners come this side on the right hand of PS, then Professor be on the left hand. Okay, other commissioners be on the right hand of the professor. Now the leadership of the club now to come. Where is the constitution? Do we have the constitution? Because we cannot. Where is the constitution? Chairperson? The chairperson forgot the tools of trade. I don't know where the cake is. Also, where is the cake? Dean of Students, I'm also told clubs are under your division. Deputy Dean, I'm also told to also come here. Where is the cake, Chairperson? You know, African tradition says there is no ceremony without a cake. So we shall just be symbolic as the cake is being prepared. The PS and the commissioners, the vice chair of the commission will now be handing it over. Just hold it together, and then they'll be handing over to the vice chancellor, represented. And now the patron also receives, Prof receives, Prof also, and then Dr. Good. And now others by the side, we clap, a big clap. And now it transfers now from professor now to the patron, And now, thank you. And now the patron hands over now to the chairperson. Thank you. And now the members now can join you together. As you lift it up, just stand here. Then the members of the Integrity Club, be behind, form a curve behind. Thank you. And now the chairperson, you lift it up. Thank you. And then we clap. I'm also being asked that there are members of the clubs. Where are you? Members of the club? Kindly, let's hurry. You need this photo. As the members come, kindly let's hurry. We don't have much time. Now, chairperson, you can go to that side because of the photo. Kindly spread to the other side. Thank you. And now you can lift for the last photo. Thank you. Thank you. We can get to our seats. Then the chairperson and the vice chairperson and also the PS and directors just come down for the cake, for the symbolic cake cutting. Okay, and now you can move the other side. Now the chairperson, go there, and your team. It's ceremonial now. Hands, join hands. Okay. Now for the photo, thank you very much. And as usual, kata usiogope, kata. Hii ni keki sio ugali. Thank you very much. The ushers can take charge. As the ushers take charge, the ushers kindly take charge. As the ushers take charge, ladies and gentlemen, and as you wait for your cake, allow me call on stage Colonel Retired Alfred Mushimba, MBS, to give the vote of thanks, and then I'll invite Dr. Reverend Thereafter, Colonel Retired Alfred Mshimba makes the vote of thanks. I'll invite the YCS chaplain to give us a closing prayer.
The chief guest, Eacc chairperson, Dr. David Oginde, who has left for some urgent matters. Principal Secretary, Youth Affairs, Mr. Jacobs Fikirini. Our host, Vice Chancellor, who is not here, represented by Professor. My fellow Eacc commissioners, Dr. Cecilia Mtuku, and the Vice Chair, Dr. Monica Mwiru, the Eacc and University fraternity, all student participants, a very good evening. I'll try to be very brief in the interest of time. It is my distinct honor and privilege to extend a vote of thanks on behalf of the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission. I believe the objective to engage MKU University students, faculty members, and youth leaders in a structured dialogue on ethical leadership, integrity, and anti-corruption, and to secure institutional commitments towards integrity, ethics, and integrity practices within the university has been achieved. Consequently, we continuously increase awareness, the commitment and institutional collaboration for ethics and integrity initiatives, including student-led actions and university-led policy discussions. Therefore, I wish to appreciate the university fraternity led by the founder, Professor Simon Gicharu, CBS, and the Vice Chancellor, Professor Deogracius Jagani, for collaborating with Eacc and Kenya Leadership Integrity Forum CLIF in hosting the campus edition. We appreciate the opportunity to engage with young people in advancing a united front in the promotion of integrity. We also appreciate the commitment to establish and operationalize the Ethics and Integrity Club and the need to explore incorporation of ethics and integrity studies as a short course. And when we visited recently, we had requested that should be a common unit. And today, we have witnessed that that has already been authorized by the university leadership. We thank you for that. Professor Peter Wanderi kindly pass our appreciation to the chairman and the vice chancellor for this. As EACC, you'll remain our reference point. And as EACC, through the vice chair who is here and fellow commissioners, I can confirm that we are going to support this program until it succeeds. The Commission will support the university in undertaking an institutional baseline survey to assess the level of awareness and integration on ethics and integrity. I also most sincerely thank the chief guest who has left, Dr. David Oginde, for delivering a profound keynote address, and my fellow commissioners for your participation. We carry with us insights to advance the promotion of integrity in our country. I think today the chief guest reminded us of a song at a distance, and I'm going to listen to that song in the evening. He also talked about shortcuts will cut our lives short. I think those are some of the things we should take home tonight. A special recognition goes to all the students and the young people present for finding time to join the dialogue, which is rebuilding trust through ethical leadership. Your presence and contribution is greatly appreciated. Asanteni sana, our friends, students. As a commission, we aim to actualize our mission of an integrity and values-driven Kenyan society. Therefore, engagement of this nature serves as our commitment to advancing integrity at all levels of society. We extend our gratitude to the CLIF stakeholders drawn from State Departments of Justice, Human Rights and Constitutional Affairs, the National Youth Council, and the National Cohesion and Integration Commission for your participation. I also thank the participants who have followed this event through the various social media platforms. We will continue to seek support of the public in the fight against corruption and promotion of ethics in our society. I also appreciate the choir, which today sang four anthems. As the chair, I promise that, of the chair of Prevention Committee, Eacc, I promise that we're going to work with this choir going forward. Finally, we thank the university and Eacc management team and staff for facilitating this event. It is highly appreciated, and asanteni sana, and have a very good evening. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Asante sana. Now, finally, allow me to invite the chaplain, Thika High School, to give us the closing prayers.
My prayer will be based on the good work that was done by the student in having a very good poster, a poster that talks about engage, in need conversation, empower your community, inspire change, and act with integrity. May we all stand for a word of prayer. Psalms 78 and verse 72 says, "And David shepherded them with the integrity of heart and the skills of his hands." Lord, help us not only to be the hearers, but to be the doers of what has been said. It has been said here that the change will start from us. We know that corruption is stealing our future, and especially the comrades' future. As they say, corruption in our manda. May the Lord help us to be the doers, wherever we are, to be the change that is needed. We thank you, God, for this day that was planned. You have made the day to be a successful one. Help us, oh God. We thank you, God, for that relationship that has started and will continue between the EACC and the university, and especially the Ethics and Integrity Club. We thank you, God, for these young men and young women that have come, and they are declaring there will be no corruption in whatever area. Lord, help us even as we go, as we engage, as we inspire, as we tell others. Help us, oh God. Pray for this country where we have seen every day there is report on corruption. Help those that are been given responsibility. It's a privilege that calls for responsibility, and without responsibility, give us ability. Help us, oh God, not only to be hearers, but to be the doers. Now as we leave this place, we thank you, God, for the MKU University that has spent time and resources so that this club may start. We pray, O God, for posterity of the Ethics and Integrity Club. We thank you, God, for those leadership. We thank you, God, that now it has been launched. We want to see them in every area, in every school, in every campus. The Lord, this will be a key, a change agent, a club that will not just be a club like any other, to be a club that will make a difference. Now on your able hands, we place ourselves. Those that will be traveling, short or long distance, we commit them to the able hands. Even as we share the meal, the cake that is here, as we celebrate, we take it with thanksgiving. And we pray, oh God, for the long life of this university. We thank you, God, for the leadership. It's a prayer of faith. And we believe that when we come another time, we will have good stories as they were given today. This is a prayer of faith in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. May you be blessed. May you be highly favored. We are winners and we will win. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We can take our seats as we allow our guests to first leave. Oh, there is cake. I'm told that there is cake. Madam Purity reminds me that there is cake. So ushers, now you can serve cake. Then the guests can leave. Just serve cake. Then for our students, as you leave, kindly use